these guys aren't getting paid for this. They do
They
have
have
jobs
lives.
and families,
True.
and some of them even come from Cincinnati. The quarterback flew in from Maryland today, Michael Wilson.
So, again, it's a lot of logistics, but kickoff, he's got a couple blocks. Running down the sideline
And that is
is
24.
Carl Dove with a great return for the Chiefs. Fire will be on defense first, so we will see number 15, Rico Middlebrooks, and the Fire defense come out and try to make a statement early and redeem themselves from the loss earlier today. So again, this creates a different situation. Can you imagine, what would be your thought process as a player on the Fire defense right now, Brian?
Well, my thought process is yes, we just gave up a touchdown, but this is an entirely new game. None of that bears on what happens in this next 3 hours that we're going to see tonight. You got to totally forget about that. So if you're Rico Middlebrooks, I'm talking to all my teammates and I'm telling them that. I'm expressing to them how much that does not matter. That is a game from June 3rd, and we are here today on July 22nd to play football, and we're here to make it to the playoffs.
You see Middlebrooks ready to rush the passer. All the words that A.D. Davis had in between the games, he's going to have to back that up right now. Fire defense, one safety deep, handoff up the middle, and a tackle for loss. And, again, when we were at practice, we heard him talk about the attitude on defense that they wanted to bring, right, Brian?
Absolutely. They talked about focus. They talked about determination and communication between all levels of that defense, as they have had trouble with that throughout the season.
So 2nd down and 12 for the Chiefs defense. A great play here to set the tone early. And we've seen how these games, they tend to kind of change from quarters down. So it's important for the Fire to get off to a good start. You see man coverage, one safety deep once again here. Middlebrooks coming off the edge. Bull rush, they double team Middlebrooks. The receiver falls, and an incomplete pass from A.D. Davis. 3rd down and 12 for the Chiefs.
And I think that's got to be a great feeling as the corners, as we know that they're a little up and down. But when they're up, they're very up. And when they're down, they are very down. So it's got to be a good feeling to go out there, get some good coverage, have the receiver falling to the ground, and almost had a chance to make a play a little bit off there.
3rd down and 12 for the Chiefs. Stephen Witherspoon is your near side corner in man-to-man coverage. Looks like it might be a blitz. No safeties deep. Now we have a safety dropping late. Shotgun snap. Complete pass, but
Wow,
short of the 1st down. Great tackling by the Fire defense. And we're looking at a punting situation here, Brian.
Yeah, that's great coverage on a very good catch and throw. You like to see that. The corner's coming out aggressive already, making hard tackles right there, throwing the offensive player to the ground.
4th down and 5 for Cincinnati here. Fire defense is still on the field, so they're going to go for it here.
Wow, and this could be a very big call in the game. You're going for it on 4th down at the very start of the game. We know how that can turn the table. You could see a lot of momentum come the Fire's way here if they're able to get a stop.
Anthony Harris, number 19, lined up one-on-one in the slot. Shotgun snap. Back to pass and complete. Good enough for a 1st down and a tackle by number 13, Stephen Witherspoon, in man-to-man coverage. The reception by number 23, Deontay Riley, for Cincinnati, Brian.
And we talked about Rico Middlebrooks and that defensive pass rush. They've got to do a much better job going forward in this game. They cannot allow A.D. Davis to have all the time standing back there where he can search the whole field and find that wide open receiver.
So after that clutch 4th down pickup by Deontay Riley, 1st down situation here for the Chiefs offense. Fire defense looking to stand strong, coming out with one safety deep. So an extra player up in the box for the Fire defense. Man-to-man coverage on the outside. Shotgun formation.
And the Fire not going to have a chance to bring pressure as they have a jet sweep to number 85. And he breaks a tackle.
Edwards breaks one, but a great form tackle as he got into the secondary, was able to pick up the 1st down. And key player for Cincinnati is Dyshawn Edwards, number 85. He's a guy that they really like to get the ball, and he's going to be a key for the Fire defense today.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see the athleticism that he possesses right there on that play in the jet sweep. And the Fire, and we talk about the communication already, they have to communicate. They have to know where number 85 is, especially when they run through those jet sweeps, because you're always going to get the extra blocker out there as well.
First down and 10 for Cincinnati. Play clock runs down, but they just barely get it off. Davis with the pass to the left and juggled and caught. And an injury to Stephen Witherspoon, number 13. We'll try to see if he's okay. He was the corner with the coverage on the play.
And once again, A.D. Davis has all day to go ahead and throw it.
And it looks like it just might be a cramp or something to that effect, because it was a non-contact type of situation that sent him to the ground there.
And we prefaced it before the first game ended. It is very hot out here today.
It is.
It's been humid all week here in Columbus, and you got to hope that these guys took the time to hydrate the last couple of days, because you are not able to hydrate on game day. Your body's just not ready for it. You don't have the time to let the liquid sink into your muscles. So hopefully we don't see a lot of that, as the Fire cannot afford to be losing players today.
And he's Weatherspoon's the cover corner. He's the shutdown corner. And the way he went down, it looks like it might have been a cramp, because it just looks like he got shot out of nowhere, and that's how those cramps kind of happen to you.
Okay, so it looks like we have a little miscommunication out there. We had a penalty on the previous play, or?
It's hard to say.
So
I didn't see any.
Okay, so we're in.
Type of flags.
Yeah,
but first down and extremely long
First
here.
and 20 is what we have here on the scoreboard.
Shotgun snap, pressure on the quarterback, but gets the throw off in between the safety and the corner.
Wow.
Great defense on the play by the Fire secondary. Eric Robinson.
Wow, what a play coming over there as the free safety. That's exactly what you want to see. You want to see him ranging from sideline to sideline, going and making those plays in the passing game. And you also talk about that's the first time the Fire have had a chance to get pressure on A.D. Davis in the pocket as he went down.
Rayshawn Moore with the pressure on that play. So he was coming off that right end, normally where you see Middlebrooks coming from. So they're moving Middlebrooks around on the defense, trying to free him up. You saw early that he was getting double team chipped with the running back, and so they want to try to free up Middlebrooks and cause some havoc on that defense, get a stop, get the ball back, and get some momentum in the first quarter of this game.
Yeah, and historically this year, Terrell, I don't know that we've seen too much movement throughout the defensive line, moving guys into different spots. So maybe on film they notice that something has been happening.
Long pass to the end zone to the left, good coverage.
Oh, wow.
And it might be a penalty there for a face guard, but the officials don't seem to have seen it. Good coverage by the Fire secondary on that, and
that's number 10. I think that's Aaron Davis out there that just made that play. I mean, you see
Aaron Davis and Jordan Marshall teaming up on that.
Yeah, and you see Aaron Davis almost come down with the interception. That's 2 plays in a row he's been out there making it, ranging both sides of the field. Once again, Aaron Davis stepping in at free safety today, and the Fire taking advantage of his athleticism on defense, as he's a guy that is able to make plays all over the field.
And it's good to see that, because Weatherspoon, he's still struggling with that cramp on the sideline. He's not able to get back in there and contribute for the defense. So two-way players making it happen today for the Fire. Huge play there.
Yeah, and I see Rico Middlebrooks here on the sideline grabbing at his hamstring a little bit, so you got to be a little concerned about that too.
More pressure from the outside. A.D. Davis steps up, juggled and caught, but not enough for the first down. Johnny on the spot right there for the Fire was Trayvon Chavis with the form tackle. Mikael Wiggins subbing in, coming in with the play for the Fire defense.
To call Mike Cross's name all night. A guy that's always making plays. We've seen
is.
him on offense this year as well at tight end making huge plays.
We have.
So I always expect a lot out of Mike Cross. He just has to keep his head in the game.
Play clock is at 6. A.D. Davis looking for the shotgun snap, drops back, looks left, and then right. Great coverage by the Fire defense. And intercepted in the end zone. Great play on the far side of the field. Great ball skills on that play.
Yeah, you see Chad Woodfork over there playing great coverage, beating the receiver to the spot, and the ability, the hand-eye coordination to tip the ball up to himself and go ahead and make a play, and also Darrell to make the heady play to take a knee in the end zone instead of trying to run it out.
So this is our first chance to see Willie Beeman, number 13, Michael Wilson, quarterbacking for the Fire and leading that drive.
What a specimen. You look at him.
He is.
He doesn't look like a quarterback. He looks like a fullback wearing number 13. But he has been PFAL offensive player already this year. The first game that he played, he had 4 touchdowns. So you know he's got the ability. Last week he did suffer an injury. So I'm very excited to get my first look in person at Michael Wilson.
4 wide receiver set for the Fire. 1 back in the backfield. Hands off up the middle. Drives for about 5. Good run on the play. Maurice Dowse getting it started early.
Yeah, and you know Maurice Dowse is always in the mind of the Fire offensive coordinator, Coach Drew, as they want to be a very physical team. And Maurice Dowse is exactly that. He is a physical running back. He's looking to get downhill, and he's looking to bowl you over.
2nd down and 5 for the Fire. 4 wide receiver set. And again, in practice, we did see him just running a lot of routes and working on that passing tree. So another handoff up the middle to Dowse. He drives, makes a couple moves, shakes, bakes, gets about 3. Bringing up a 3rd down and short for the Fire. Great situation.
So you wonder, do they want to go ahead and keep pounding it? This may be the first chance for us to see Michael Wilson drop back and throw it in the passing game, as Maurice Dowse is going to have to lead the game since he did lose his helmet. And the trash talk continues.
3rd down and short. Big possession here for the Fire. Shotgun formation for Willie Beeman, number 13. Everybody's on side. A handoff once again up the middle. Rumble, stumble, and spin move. Renoir Thomas.
Wow. What a run by the big fella.
Looking like the bus out there.
Yeah, he's definitely got the bus spin move in there. You see the Fire offensive line pushing back that Cincinnati defensive line. You see Renault in there spinning, winning, getting the first down.
Oh, yeah. I like the mentality that the Fire have come out with.
Well, they got a lot of physicality in that backfield today.
Get those big offensive linemen leaning on these guys. As they're coming out, once again, in the spread formation. It's a multiple offense for the Fire. It's a lot of different types of personnel, so it's a lot of different types of things and looks that you're going to see from the Fire. But shotgun, 4 wide, 1 running back, shotgun snap, fakes it, looks right, complete pass, turns, and runs upfield for the first down.
Big crisp route, and Michael Wilson gets the ball out quick, as that was a short hitch. Oh, yeah.
First down, or rather, correction. So he wasn't able to pick up the first down. 2nd and inches for the Fire.
I believe that was 3rd down, though, Terrell. And by believe, I know that was 3rd down. So
that's the part
of the semi-pro league.
Rather than the semi-pro.
So
the timeout by Cincinnati here again. And you said you're sure it was a 3rd down. I'm sure he got a first down. So here we are.
So we're moving the chains. The Fire officially do have a first down.
Yes, he clearly got the first down.
And I'm loving what the Fire have going on early. Obviously, they've only run a couple of plays, but they're really leaning on physicality here. And that could tire Cincinnati out here on a really hot night.
Blitz coming here, but a handoff up the middle and met in the backfield.
Wow.
Big hit by Anthony Berry of Cincinnati.
And
Not the biggest guy, but he brought the wood on that one.
yeah, and he's actually blitzed twice already tonight from that exact same position, and he just happened to run into big number 5, Renault Thomas, and he got the win on that one.
In a situation like that, if you're Willie Beeman, is that a situation where you can check out of that, or you just got to run the play that's called? Even when you see the blitz, it was an A-gap blitz. We saw it. I mean, what are you looking at if you're Willie Beeman?
Well, I think I think that he wants to give Renault Thomas a chance to run it. I know
Okay.
he's already had the big spin move. He spun off a number 11 on a previous play, so he has confidence in his run game that he can give him a chance to go ahead and run him over.
John Jackson fakes the bubble screen. Great pass. Heck of a route combination. Khalid Ali with his second reception of the ball game.
And that's one of those new plays that we saw them put in on Thursday, as you saw them out there practicing it. Not the entire receiving core, but a few guys that are standing out there, and they got a little bit of familiarity here in the pregame. So you see Michael Wilson, who looks like he's done a lot of preparation for today's game, and that's always a good sign.
Great execution on that play. You see John Jackson, I like to call him Randy Moss, line up in the slot for the fire. He's dangerous in this 4 wide receiver set. Shotgun snap. Handoff to Maurice Dowse up the middle. He's back in the ball game after losing his helmet. Picks up a couple for the fire. 2nd down and 8 coming up for Michael Beeman. Willie Beeman. I'm just
His name is
combining
Michael,
names.
though. His name
Yes,
is Michael. It's
it
fine.
is.
It's
It
fine.
is.
It's a nickname anyway, so it's okay. But you
Good
see,
old Michael Beeman.
well, you see Anthony Berry talking a little trash again, and I'll tell you what, I've seen Cincinnati talk since the first whistle here tonight, and they're going to see a lot of Maurice Dowse and Renault Thomas, and I assume Michael Wilson running up the middle. So you want to see if he's going to be able to back that up all night.
Joshua Keith on the top of the screen, but Beeman looks right and hits John Jackson for his first reception of the game. So, like we talked about in practice and just from earlier in the season, drops have been an issue, but that's not the case here on this first drive, Brian.
No, you'd see a lot of. It looks like they've had a lot of continuity. It looks like they've had a lot of practice time together. We know we talked to John Jackson on Thursday, and he over and over and over again talked about the drops. They talked about it as a wide receiving core, so you know that they're at least focusing on concentration right now. So hopefully you can see them concentrate all night. And here come the penalties.
And just as I was about to commend the offensive line on the job they're doing protecting and opening up running lanes, a false start. Looks like Will McCary, maybe, number 79.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Don't have a 79 here on the sheet, so forgive me, number 79.
Well, and that's part of that communication that we talk about. You got to stay on the same page. You can't be jumping off sides. That they've had issues with that game after game after game. So once again, hopefully they can improve on that.
3rd and 5, a handoff up the middle. He's met in the backfield, a loss of a couple for Maurice Dowse on that play. 4th down and long situation outside of field goal range. What are you thinking here if you're the Fire coaching staff?
So I see a kicker on the field, but you have to be going for it in this position, especially calling a running play on 3rd down. So I'm not exactly sure what the thought process here, as it looks like they're going to go ahead and kick it. So you wonder if maybe there's a little communication lapse between the offense and the coaching staff, as they assumed that they were going for it, but you do see the kicker. Well, you see the punter come out. So hopefully they will give Michael Wilson a chance in the future to throw the ball, as he's looked hot already.
Steven Sherrick, number 47, back to punt for the Fire. 1 returner deep for Cincinnati, standing inside his own 5. Penalty on the play, delay a game, backing it up to give Sherrick a little bit more room to get a punt in there and maybe land one inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, so I do like the strategy with that. You're not in a good position. You don't want to kick it in the end zone here after you call the play on 3rd down and you totally waste the opportunity to get the first down. It is a wasted opportunity in my mind when you have a mid-sized 3rd down and you run it up the middle. You have to take the delay a game and punt it here.
Snap is good. Punt is a line drive and into the end zone for a touchback. Cincinnati will start this drive from their own 20-yard line.
So, and now once again I call it a wasted opportunity, Terrell. You had a chance to go for it. Michael Wilson has looked hot already. The wide receivers are having great communication. They're running great routes. You go for a run on third down as they've been blitzing up the middle all night already. Even though we're almost through the first quarter.
We are.
And hopefully they'll go with a different strategy on the next drive and throughout the rest of the game, because you can't continue to punt it into the end zone when you're in the other team's territory.
So the Fire defense is getting set to go back on the field and defend for the rest of this first quarter, a 0-0 ball game. It's interesting, Brian, the way that this is like, how is this in a stalemate when there was so much action in the quote-unquote fourth quarter of the last ball game?
Well, I hope the story's not they're tired already.
They shouldn't be.
But it is hot, and there was a lot of emotion poured out in the first minute and 51 seconds.
Yes.
So maybe they're just trying to build it back up here, as you have seen a little bit of emotion from the Cincinnati side. Columbus hasn't shown a ton.
Fumble on the play and recovered, it looks like, by Cincinnati. A missed handoff there. Looking at the defensive backfield for the Fire, Brian, I've noticed that Witherspoon still hasn't gone back out there. The number one corner for us is Jordan Marshall right now.
So, and you wonder what that's going to do for the secondary with Aaron Davis out there playing, who doesn't have a ton of experience, to my knowledge, with these guys.
I haven't seen him play out there.
But he does have a ton of athleticism, so they have a couple guys. They're shorthanded.
I mean, could this be an opportunity for some of the guys that don't get to play and they're upset about that to maybe get some playing time, Brian?
Absolutely. We heard a lot of talk about that, as Aaron Davis is deep playing that free safety position, and you see them forcing it into a short pass. So obviously they're not feeling too bad about it, as they're out there just to make plays.
Mikael Wiggins runs on, and some extracurricular activities, some talking going on. Looks like it might be on Cincinnati. Also, you see Middlebrooks putting his helmet on, going back onto the field for the Fire defense. That's a great thing, Brian.
That's a good sight, especially since A.D. Davis has had plenty of time to drop back, search the field for all four receivers, and make some completions. And the backwards parade starts, Terrell.
And just again, to address maybe some of with the hot weather, a lot of subs. Rayshawn Moore running off the field for the Fire defense. So just kind of keeping that defensive line fresh, trying to get some pressure on A.D. Davis and the Cincinnati offense.
Yeah, and to me, that's a new strategy. I haven't seen a lot of rotation with that Fire defensive line. So it seems that they have gotten a little smarter and are ready tonight to try and get this win and move into the playoffs.
Soft coverage on the outside, one safety deep. A pass looks like it's short. Defense is in position. Great play on the ball, getting together, communicating, trying to figure out exactly what the play is here, what happened on that play, where the ball should be spotted. It's 3rd down and 20 for Cincinnati. A 0-0 ball game as time runs out here at the end of the first quarter. Back to the return the punt is Aaron Davis for the Fire.
And the Cincinnati punt team has to be aware that they're kicking it back to number 10. So the strategy here has to be to kick it away, to kick it out of bounds, to try and not give the Fire any better field position, especially since they're going to be punting out of their own end zone here.
So an outstanding chance if you're the Fire special teams. Are you trying to block this punt?
When I have Aaron Davis back there to return, I never want to put a punt block on, because he is the punt block. Because he is the guy that can go make you a play. He's an instant game changer every time he touches the football, and I don't want to do anything to jeopardize that.
So just one returner back, getting special teams run onto the field here. Rayshawn Moore coming back on the field, maybe getting some pressure or some blocks to set up a great return here for the Fire. No matter what happens, there's going to be good field position and a chance to get into field goal range because of where Aaron Davis will field this punt.
Yeah, and Michael Wilson looks like he's down there getting the offense ready to go, as they're always very excited to get out there.
Line drive takes a Cincinnati bounce, but fielded by Aaron Davis, reverses field, gets away from one, but a great tackle right at midfield by Cincinnati. So with 30 seconds to go, Fire going to run a play or two, try to get into the end zone.
So, and I'm very interested to see if they come back out with that physical mentality, even though they have worked the short passing game very well already. And the Cincinnati defenders have played well off of the wide receivers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Officials are getting together, conferring about something. I didn't see anything abnormal that occurred on that play, but they're talking about something right now. We'll figure it out as soon as they do. They're pointing in Cincinnati's direction.
I do see some laundry over there by the 30, by the numbers on the 30. So I didn't see that previously.
Maybe a player going out of bounds, something to that effect. That's usually when they throw those types of flags. And some sportsmanship.
Yeah, see a lot of kumbaya out there.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of handshakes, even between number 2 Chad Woodfork and one of the officials, as in the semi-pro league. The players get to know the officials very well.
They do.
By the end of the game.
And one thing to note, just on an NFL note, there's a new change. Coaches, they will be penalized for verbally abusing the officials this year.
As far as I knew, they always threw penalty flags when they yelled at the officials in a certain manner anyway. So do they really need to put that?
Well, there's an additional, coaches can be ejected after receiving 2 penalties for verbally abusing the officials.
Well, we don't want to hurt the officials' feelings ever, Terrell. I'm a fan of the zebra.
You can't just talk to the officials any kind of way you want now.
I'm a fan of the zebra.
You gotta respect their authority, Brian.
And they do have authority. They have the yellow hacky sacks in their pockets.
You do. And
but
I've never understood why, as a coach, you would be a jerk to the officials. You need them to make calls. I want to be nice to the officials. I'm trying to make friends with the officials. I mean, can you help me understand why, as a coach, it would behoove you to verbally abuse the officials?
Well, I believe that it is some coaches' ideas that they can intimidate the officials.
That's true.
That's
true.
And maybe not get the officials to give calls in their favor, but to possibly not throw a call that's not in their favor.
So the old mafia rules. I'm going to break your thumbs.
Intimidation is king.
I'm going to bust your kneecaps.
Well, and
nothing personal.
And football is always seen as an old school mentality type of game.
That's true.
Where it's all about the toughest man comes out on top, which we know necessarily isn't always true.
Sometimes it's the smartest man comes out on top.
But that is usually the mentality, especially when you're talking about the NFL. And we're getting a lot of younger coaches in.
We are.
Some of the old guard has moved out. Well, most of the old guard has moved out. I mean, Andy Reid is one of the older coaches in the league, but he has a totally different philosophy than some of those other guys.
He's one of the few coaches still running the West Coast offense in its purest form. But back to this game, 30 seconds here to go in the first quarter. No score here from Huffick Community Sports Complex. Fire have the ball, first down and 10. After some penalty that we don't really know what it was, fake handoff. Willie Beeman drops back. He's under pressure. Goes off his back foot. There's some contact before the ball arrived, but no flag. A return on the play, and some laundry on the field, but Sergio Freeman with the interception for Cincinnati.
And Terrell, that's a ball that you can't afford to throw off your back foot with pressure in your face, jumping in the air.
I mean, I guess he feels like he has the arm strength, Brian.
And I understand that he is a big man. He's got a lot of power, but that is never a good ball to put up, especially when you're throwing into the wind.
So an apparent turnover by Willie Beeman, a questionable decision on his part. Again, there was pressure. Sometimes you just got to live to fight another day or try to maybe make a play. 18 seconds to go here in the first quarter. And, again, that was waved off. I think they called pass interference. It looked like there was some contact, a modicum of contact before the ball arrived. I didn't see any type of flag early. There was a flag late, came from across the field.
Yeah, and that was Josh Smith out there, and we talked about it. These corners are playing off. So when you're trying to throw the ball down the field, they're already going to have at least a step, if not a step and a half, on the wide receivers. That's the thought process, Terrell. So you have to know that as a quarterback, that my wide receiver most likely is not going to be in a position to make that play throwing off my back foot early.
I feel like he kind of took the JT Barrett route on that one, where he says,
"Wow, we're
no,
throwing
no,
Joe
no.
Thomas under the
Again,
bus
Joe
already."
Thomas. Yes, we're throwing Joe Thomas because you know what?
It's still the first quarter, Terrell. It's still the first quarter.
Handoff up the middle and met in the backfield by Cincinnati was Maurice Dowse. So again, able to avoid the turnover. Again, but back to Joe Thomas. He says, "Hey, we don't throw up and over guys here at Ohio State. We throw in the windows." Maybe he was trying to throw into a window.
I don't believe windows are down the field, down the sideline, Terrell. As long as I played football, I've never heard of a window being down the side of the field.
Okay.
But I do appreciate we are here for the Columbus Fire, and I do appreciate the positivity of what you're saying.
Just trying to pump guys up here after one quarter. It
Yeah.
has been a hot one. The rain has stayed away. It's been stormy all day, but everything cleared up just in time for the Fire and Cincinnati Chiefs to square off in a rare doubleheader. We're heading into the second quarter and changing ends here. We're going to go ahead and step away, take a little break.
The future of broadcasting is evolving, and you can be on the front line. Digital and traditional media jobs are being created daily, and the Columbus campus of the Ohio Media School can help you find your next career. With financial aid and job placement assistance available, the Columbus campus of the Ohio Media School provides instruction from industry-experienced veterans like me, ready to share their knowledge of the media broadcasting industry. Contact us today at 614-655-5250 or apply online at beonair.com. The Ohio Media School. Media broadcasting training starts here.
Second down for the Fire here. 4 wide receivers. Man-to-man coverage on the outside, it looks like, from Cincinnati. Not really showing anything in terms of a blitz as they line up. Willie Beeman scans the defense as the play clock runs down. Shotgun snap, looks left, looking to the end zone, has a man open. Can he get there? A little bit too long.
For Cameron Jackson.
Good old Cam.
So Cameron Jackson finally getting an opportunity to go ahead and make a play down the field, as he is usually the deep threat here for the Columbus Fire. And Michael Wilson not able to connect with him, as that's the first time they've actually been able to get a ball down the field.
So a 3rd down and 10 situation here for the Fire. The first time we see number 88, David King, to your near side. Man-to-man coverage, 1 safety deep. Beeman looks left again, looking for King. It's tipped. And looking for the slot receiver, who might have been shaken up on the play.
Oh, no, we have a – okay. No, he is okay. So, and you have miscommunication there where the route was run way too close to each other, allowing the defenders to stay right there in position to make a play, Terrell.
And the pass was intended for the aforementioned David King.
So here we go. Out of field goal range, as we talked about last time. They are going to go for it. So obviously I'm looking for a pass here on 4th and 10.
Mike Tatum, split out wide. Shotgun for Willie Beeman once again. Dowse in the backfield to his left. A flag on the play. Takes off running.
Look at
the big man rumbling, stumbling, and bumbling. 2017 version of Dante Culpepper.
I don't know if I've ever seen Dante Culpepper move that fast, Terrell.
Well, if you take a load and you give it some wheels, that's what you got.
And you like to see You like to see Michael Wilson out there trying to make a play for his team, not worrying about the linebackers running right through the secondary and giving the stretch at the end. So he's out here to play for his team tonight, but
It is.
But there is a penalty down on the field, as you said.
And it came right as the ball was snapped. So that's a penalty on the Fire. It's a 4th down situation. So erase that run.
No, we're at fourth. No, we're at 4th and goal. That was encroachment by the defense.
Encroachment by the defense. So first down and goal.
Lined up in the neutral zone. So Terrell, here comes the physicality. Here it comes with the 2 big fellas in the backfield.
Shotgun formation once again. Lineman in a pass protect stance, 2-point stance for the tackles for the Fire. Shotgun snap, looking left is Beeman, going through traffic and intercepted. Takes a knee mysteriously.
I've never seen a defender take a knee in the middle of the field.
Derek Shearer with the one-handed interception, a great play. And for whatever reason, thanks, Derek, for not running it back because you kind of had some time.
Yeah, and you see Cincinnati sitting there in the zone once again. They've been playing zone all night.
They have been.
And that's the exact same defensive play that you saw on the switch route between David King and also Cameron Jackson. So Michael Wilson has to talk to the wide receivers. They got to get on the same page about what they're going to do exactly with this zone coverage from Cincinnati.
And again, in those types of situations, it's first down and goal. You're in the red zone. The passing windows are much tighter. And everybody in the whole stadium knew he was going to throw it where he was throwing it. Didn't you know it? We all knew where he was throwing it.
And I know no one can see me, but I'm shaking my head. Like I said, I assumed the physicality was coming as they've tried to impose themselves on Cincinnati. But in that situation, they go ahead and throw it down near the end zone where, as you mentioned, the passing windows are going to be a lot tighter and you have all that beef in the backfield. I would love to see the Fire go back to their old school game and go under center and try and pound it through the middle.
Use it.
And they definitely have the weight advantage on the offensive line compared to what Cincinnati has out there in defense. As we see some more trash talking between both teams, things are beginning to get heated up. And you do see some good communication, though, on the Fire bench as the team did just huddle up. And Matt Neal, who was one of the team's leaders, is trying to rally them together even after such a bad play.
Trevon Chavis runs onto the field for the Fire defense in this unfortunate situation. It is what it is. It's still a 0-0 ball game after all the fireworks in game 1. Quote, unquote. Mike Tatum out there trying to communicate with the sideline, get everybody organized on defense, and come up with a turnover because we've been getting pretty good pressure on A.D. Davis. Now you just got to make plays.
Yeah, and they come out in their base defense here, and you wonder if they're going to start trying to put some pressure up the middle on A.D. Davis, as he has looked very good when he's had time to throw the ball down the field.
Handoff up the middle and dives for about 6 on the carry. Is Tyrone Berry Jr. the third? He's not really the third. I just added that.
Well, it was a really good run, but you see 3 Fire defenders tackle each other at the defensive line, and I'm going to continue to harp on it all night. They have to clean up their communication, as 3 guys cannot play in one gap together.
The communication has been better, as you saw. The Fire defense break the huddle early. They're ready and waiting. Mike Tatum, man-to-man coverage with 1 safety deep, a handoff up the middle, but that extra safety in the box aids for your guy, big number 21, Mike Cross, making the tackle on the backfield, Brian.
There he is, and Mike Cross always willing to make plays. He's a mean guy. He's got a mean attitude. Well, he's a nice guy, Terrell. I would say he is a very nice guy. I've talked to him a couple times. But on the field, when he straps that chin strap up, he's a different person, and he's already to knock the snot out of somebody. And you see him with the athleticism to move the offensive guard and get in there and make a play.
Could you use the replay monitor and describe the replays when the replays play? So 3rd down and 7 for Cincinnati here. Shotgun formation. Rolls to his left, looking for a receiver who has already fallen down. Great coverage by the Fire defense, and brings up what looks like to be a punting situation, able to get the ball back here, maybe come up with a score.
Absolutely. Hopefully the Fire come out and they are ready to put it in the end zone. And Aaron Davis always going to get a chance here to return the ball, as you see the Fire getting a little more pumped up as they're able to get a huge stop, especially after the big interception, and the defense picking up the offense, and hopefully they're able to convert here on the next drive.
So the best defensive possession of the game for the Fire leads to a punting situation and a chance to really get something going with the firecracker and the fire starter, Mr. Get 'em started, Aaron Davis, back to return this punt.
I like that.
Because that's what he does. He gets it started. When we think that we're done, he makes a big play, and that's what we're looking for here. Maybe a little bit of early movement there, but no flag by the officials. Fielded by Davis, and shoestring tackle by Cincinnati.
And
Michael Fuller on the tackle.
Yeah. And we talked about it. We talked about it on the last punt. You see a little strategy there as they try and kick it away from Aaron Davis, and he fields it right on the sideline, but able to make a defender miss. And that is a huge tackle there, as Aaron Davis had plenty of room to run.
And leading that big old offensive line back on the field for the Fire is number 71, Alan McPherson. Can't miss him. He's a mountain out there. He reminds me of Larry Allen in terms of his build. And like you said, that physicality is going to come behind that big old Fire offensive line, Brian.
Absolutely. And they set up back in the shotgun again, but you know the physicality that they can even bring out of that. So maybe they're thinking here to go ahead and get it started with the run, as we have a false start.
And with the early movement, big old number 50, Chad Hounshell, backing the Fire offense up, creating a first down and 15 situation. A little bit of a lack of discipline there, Brian?
Absolutely a lack of discipline, and that takes you out of your game plan. And we continue to talk about the physicality, but when you're sitting in first and 15s all day, or whatever in 15, in those long yardage situations, it is hard to establish the run game.
And I get it. You know, he's the left tackle. He's trying to get out there on Jamil Peoples coming off the end for Cincinnati, but he's a little guy. Bury him in the ground. Great snap. Looks right. And strong. It's going to be 2nd down and 9 for the Fire after the great grab, the second or the third grab today for second grab for John Jackson, big number 18 in the slot.
Yeah, and we've talked about the short passing game, and you see it there as he gets open, and you talk about getting in those windows, and that is what a window looks like, Terrell.
Oh, okay, that's a window.
As we watch the replay, that's what a window looks like. And John Jackson does a great job of sitting down in it, getting his big body around, so Mike Wilson has something to throw at.
4 wide, Douse to the right. Steps over to pass protect, throws right in a curl route, gets both feet down and a first down. Heck of a catch. And the third catch on the day, Khalil Ali has been big today for the Fire, catching the ball. That's his third reception.
Yeah, and you see it.
Second first down also today.
And taking a look at the replay, you see a great play by Maurice Douse sliding over to make that huge block on the defender that comes free, giving Michael Wilson the time that he needs to find our guy Khalid Heel, who's already having a big game today.
He is. Got the white helmet on.
I like it. Maybe the whole team should adopt it.
Fire in their home jerseys. The pewter. Is that pewter?
I always call that smoke gray.
Smoke gray. Wow. All right.
With the black trim. The orange trim pants. Jerseys with black numbers and orange trim around those.
Nothing doing there for Douse on that first down run for the Fire.
Yeah, and you see those guys getting loose on the edge again here. Being able to make a huge play, and that offensive tackle's got to be able to get out there and at least give the running back time to get past him. You cannot have two. You can have two people getting in the backfield, especially one from the edge, to force him back into the middle.
And quick correction, that was Renoir Thomas on that run, getting stopped in the backfield. Douse is back in there, standing next to Willie Beeman in the shotgun formation to his right. 4 wide, fakes the handoff. Beeman under pressure, still gets it off, showing that strength
there.
Douse shakes and bakes, makes one guy move, tries to run over another good form tackle on the play.
and that's one way to impose the physicality by Maurice Dowse is throw him the football. He's got great hands, Terrell. So you see the replay here, Dowse wide open, and look at the juke move as he gets past one defender, breaks a tackle, and is able to spin down for a huge gain.
And the Cincinnati tackle by Dre Reap, number 6 on that play. He's trying to get his Le'Veon on, right? Get that running back 1 and wide receiver 1 money.
Well, we know that Dowse is very talented. I don't know that he's on the Le'Veon Bell level, but he is a very, very good player, and the Fire love to use him in all sorts of combinations just to get the motor started.
Trips right, a different formation here for the Fire, looking to the right in the end zone, and they're going to call pass interference on that play because it's face guarding by the defender for Cincinnati on that play. He's asking the official, what did I do wrong? That's a tough call. It's NFL rules here in the PAFL, so pass interference is to the spot. It's not a 15-yard penalty. So that puts the Fire in business if that is, in fact, the pass interference call, Brian.
Yeah, and the Fire are lucky to get that here, as that is a little bit of a tough call for Cincinnati. I want to see Michael Wilson step into that football and drive it in instead of throwing it off his back foot and getting it through the side of the end zone. I want to see him give the receiver a chance at least to make a play in the end zone. He's got to clean up his mechanics a little bit as he's been throwing off his back foot all night. We talk about the 2 interceptions that he's had, and he's not stepping in there and delivering it with confidence yet.
And Willie Beeman not lighting up the world here today, and I see John Abner on the sideline. He's being supportive down there, but I got to tell you, he's got to stay ready.
And I think that's one thing we know about John Abner is that he is always going to be ready. He is not a vocal leader on this team, but he has the presence that everyone respects. And that experience. As he always stands in there. Yes, he is a very grizzled veteran. As yes. I can see the beard from here.
You can.
And he's a very professional guy. So I know that he's going to stay ready. And we may be seeing him soon as Michael Wilson has a conversation with some of the defenders on the other team. I'd rather see him talking to his own offense here as they have a little time to get that communication better.
And what is Willie Beeman saying to the other team? Oh, don't intercept my passes anymore. Come on, Willie Beeman. Again, you're the leader out there as the quarterback. I don't care what kind of leader you are. That's not the way to do it.
No, and going into the defensive huddle is not one way that you show your team that you're ready to go for them. You want to get there. He needs to be huddling these guys up, Terrell. He needs to talk to them. He needs to let them know what we're thinking about doing on the next play because that's what his job is today.
9 minutes and 40 seconds to go here before halftime from Huffacre Community Sports Complex. A 0-0 ball game, but the Fire are in business with a chance to put some points on the board for the second or third time here today, looking to capitalize and maybe take care of the ball a little bit better, Brian.
They got it. It's not looking. They have to take better care of the football. They cannot continue to turn it over here in the red zone. You cannot give up those opportunities, as we've seen that bite them all season in the first half.
Tight end in this formation, 2 wide receivers, twins rather, to the top of the screen. A single flanker, near side, David King for the Fire, man-to-man coverage.
So, and is this a miscommunication of what the rules are? I thought that was a spot foul in the end zone, Terrell.
There's a lot of discrepancies with the officials. I can see why they talk. Ooh, physicality once again.
Wow, what a hit.
And, Matt, you can hear it up here.
Yeah, that's both sides winning there. Maurice Dowse downhill. And number 11, Anthony Berry, who's been ready to bring the pain as he's running downhill again. They've got to do something on offense to get him out of that position. He's been blitzing into the same spot all night, right into that A-gap.
Willie Beeman had all day to read the defense on that one. As I, from here sitting up in the booth, was able to call out everything they were doing. So he definitely should have seen everything that was coming on that play. Maybe time to make some better reads. Again, trips to the top side, but Beeman looks to the right, got a player wide open, touchdown, and targeting is going to be the call here on Cincinnati. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. Did you see the player's helmet comes flying off as he led with the crown of his helmet?
And you can definitely targeted. And you can see it right here. He drops his head straight onto the receiver's helmet, and that is an extremely dangerous play. We all know what the rules are today with trying to get your shoulder pads on defenseless receivers, and he is a runner in that position. But at the same time, you know that you cannot drop your head straight down. You have to get those pads level and make a play.
And with all the talking that has been going on, and that targeting by Leonard Riston, number 12 for Cincinnati, they did go ahead and shake hands and show that sportsmanship. And so everybody has an understanding of, what happened there. You see Willie Beeman coming off the field, triumphant after that touchdown strike.
Yeah, and that Cincinnati's back in the zone again. They continue to drop in the zone all night as we're waiting for some Cincinnati players to get up the sideline that are yelling at Fire players and also the officials. And I think that's going to be the story all night.
It will be, probably.
And I'll tell you what, I'm very, very proud of the Fire thus far to not get into those arguing matches.
That's true.
That they've been susceptible to all year.
They have been.
So I'm very proud of what they've accomplished so far tonight. Now, it's still early. There's 8:49 left in the second quarter, so they have a long way to go to get frustrated. But hopefully they stay in that cool, calm mindset because they have business here tonight, and that's to win and get in the playoffs.
And I'm looking at our two-star corners on the sideline, Cam Jackson, and stepping in, doing a great job, Jordan Marshall here on the sideline. So want to try to get this extra point and protect this lead and be able to build on it because the defense is coming together and building up some momentum.
The defenses look really good, especially.
And just roll them in the end zone for the two-point conversion. 8-0 Fire, Brian.
There's not a lot to describe on that play besides wide open end zone, but you see the offensive line with a great push on that left side, and they allow number 13 just to coolly walk into the end zone.
And you just see the difference that Michael Wilson and the element that he brings to the offense, right, Brian?
Yeah, we talked about John Abner, and I talked about him not being the vocal guy, but I'll tell you what, number 13's out there. He's talking a lot. You see him talking to Mike Cross right now on the sideline. He's going to continue to be that guy. Excuse me, that was the touchdown. So they called okay, so they called number 8, Rashawn Maxwell, down at the goal line. So that is the first touchdown of this game. Michael Wilson strolling into the end zone with the help of the offensive line.
Right now, we're putting the semi and semi-pro, Brian.
Yeah,
extra point was good.
And the officials obviously didn't show up to Fire practice on Thursday, so they weren't aware of the communication bug that was in.
They got to get it together, these officials.
Well, and I don't want to harp on the Zebras too much because we continue to talk about them too much. As you see, one of the Cincinnati players talking to Coach Drew, talking to Coach Dede. That's not the guy you want to go get in the face.
It's not. It's really not.
So, and I don't want to continue to bring it up, but it's really hard not to notice it when you see them continually talking. You see them in the middle of the field. Number 11, Anthony Berry, taking his helmet off, yelling when no one really is even talking to him.
I question any player who wears 00 in football.
I question someone who wears 00 in anything, Terrell. I question. Well,
wow, you're a hater. You hate Robert Parrish? You question Robert Parrish, the Chief? See what he's doing? You see what he's doing? He's a Robert Parrish fan. He played the Chief. No.
But there's only one Chief. There's not Chiefs. There's one Chief.
Nonetheless, 7-0 ball game here. Just under 9 minutes to go before halftime, and the Fire have the Chiefs right where we want them.
Yeah, and we saw the Fire come out in warm-ups, ready to go, team-oriented. You see them not getting into the verbal spats. You see them talking here on the sideline, chirping to each other. You feel really good already as they have that big 7-0 lead, 8:49 to go in the second. I'm feeling good, Terrell. It's a beautiful night.
It is. Sun's going down. Nightfall's going to come on, turn on the lights, and really start hitting out here in the second half, Brian.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to see some night football, and we've already heard some pads crack, so I can't wait for it to continue.
Back for Cincinnati is Dre Reap. Long kickoff. Reap's the up man on this one. Or actually, no, it's fielded by Dre Reap on this one. Correction. And great coverage by the Fire. Special teams.
Great coverage, and they have struggled this year with their kickoff return coverage. But you see them get down there. You see that left side go ahead and beat the blocks and make a play. As they're all hustling right now, there's a lot of buzz on the sideline. So the Fire defense, who's looked very stout all day, coming back out on the field ready to make another impression on the Cincinnati Chiefs.
Rico Middlebrooks leads the defensive unit back onto the field, so good to see because we did see him rubbing that hamstring earlier, but it seems to have recovered from those injuries. And again, he's been nagged with injuries throughout the season, but he's the leader on defense, so you just want to have him out there to be able to communicate, right, Brian?
Absolutely. He is a veteran. He's been playing for this team for a while. He did talk about retirement, so you know he wants to win a championship again this year. He's going to try and force his way out onto the field and exude all the leadership that he brings.
Shout out to Sports Kels. Always bringing the heat on these Fire games.
On Sports Kels brings the hot takes on everything. We were lucky enough to have her on our own show.
Absolutely.
On Tuesday, and she had a lot of great things to say, and she does a lot of good things in the community as well. So definitely shout out to Sports Kels, who is out here representing for Columbus and these Columbus Fire. She travels on the away games as well, so she does a great job of representing this organization and bringing them into a great light for the city.
So right now, taking a timeout, and we're going to take a quick timeout as well. All right, and we're back. 7-0 ball game, and a flag blowing this play dead already. Nobody move. What happened?
And it's the first play after kickoff.
It
you
is.
cannot have penalties after the first play on kickoff. Luckily, it is against the Cincinnati Chiefs, but the Fire they've worked on their communication. They've talked the talk, and they're walking the walk.
Absolutely.
The Cincinnati Chiefs have not come in with that same thought process tonight. As you see them argue a little bit, pointing the fingers in the huddle.
Looks like they're over there on that sideline eating June bugs, Brian.
Here we go. I hope not. They're definitely not getting paid $800 to do it, that's for sure.
Man, Rex Hudler, he's a classic.
So, obviously, no flag on the play. They're back in regular 1st and 10.
First down and 10, right. One safety deep for the Fire defense. Fumbled snap. Reverses field, looking to take off, but throws it at the last second. Good coverage and intercepted.
Aaron Davis, coming in, playing free safety, making plays, and that is such a tough position.
Watch how much field he covers on this replay. You will see he went from one side of the field to the other.
Yeah, and the quarterback in the scramble drill, as you see A.D. Davis come around, he's hoping for a huge play. Aaron Davis, with great athleticism, able to jump up and make a huge play to get the Fire offensive back on the field. And what a difficult play in the secondary when you have the quarterback scrambling around. You have to have the discipline to not hold the wide receivers and to stay glued to them. I'm very impressed with what I'm seeing already from a little bit of a short-handed Fire secondary, but I'll tell you what.
Aaron Davis out here making big plays, and he got congratulated by every member on the sideline, as he should. It should be just like in baseball. Just towel him off. Towel him off. He's hot, baby. He's hot.
You don't want to calm that fire just yet, Terrell. And you plug him, you play him where he's wearing number 1, whether he's no wearing number 10. What a great player. And once again, the physicality going to be taken out.
That's going to be on Cincinnati. Cincinnati jumped offside. It provoked offensive linemen to jump offside.
Pro league, Terrell.
But again, the officials don't see it that way.
Let's take a look on the replay. Who do we have first? What do we have?
Oh, yeah, they got it right. They got it right.
Yeah, they definitely got that call right as the left tackle moves too early, and that puts the Fire into a one-dimensional mindset again.
Key matchup down here, near side. David King matched up, but they go to the other side looking for Jackson, but a little bit too far in front of Randy Moss.
Yeah, and just a little bit of communication as John Jackson's not standing in the exact spot that Michael Wilson is expecting him to be. And he tries to make a very athletic play, but a little too far to the left. Excuse me, to the right.
So second down and 15 yards to go for Willie Beeman and the Fire offense. Rayshawn Maxwell split to the left. Trips at the top of the screen. Drops back. Willie Beeman looking left. Oh! And a near miss. Bringing up third down and 15. And he was going for Cam Jackson on that play. Just a little bit late delivering the ball, Brian.
What exactly is going on down there? But they're starting to zone in on that short passing game as the Chiefs secondary has played off all game. So you see them able to not have to take a huge drop and able to run up and make a play and get in that short passing game and try and disrupt a little bit of the flow that the offense has had. So, and you see it. You see that penalty biting them right now, Terrell.
Third and 15 for the Fire. Trips to the top of the screen. Beeman looks right, throws right. Again, the man of the day with another first down catch, his fourth of the day, Khalid Ali, number 17, and the white helmet.
And you see Michael Wilson with a little bit of time there. He did have a little pressure in his face. He's able to step up, and just like we talked about, those mechanics are looking a little better. He steps up in the pocket, able to take a little bit of a hit and find Khalid Hill downfield.
That load can take some hits, Brian.
Sorry, Khalid Ali, excuse me. Khalid Hill is my guy from Michigan.
Boo. Boo this man. Mention that team. Crazy. First down and 10 for the Fire. Willie Beeman looking to keep things going. Maurice Dow standing to his left in the shotgun formation, a tight formation, man in motion. Cam Jackson makes a guy miss, has a cut, has room, and a block with the speed, and takes into the end zone for a touchdown.
And
Cam Jackson.
And Cam Jackson made a lot of great moves on that play, but as soon as he gets back to the sideline, he better be thanking those wide receivers who made huge blocks down the sideline. You see them right there on the instant replay on two receivers blocking two corners right there on the sideline. Unfortunately, I'm not able to give them credit by their numbers, but when you run those types of plays, you have to have everybody doing their job, and I take my hat off to those wide receivers getting downfield and making some huge blocks, which they weren't able to get anything done at practice on Thursday, but they did want to talk about making some blocks, as that was key to the institution of their run game.
So the Fire feeling great, 13-0 here, trying to make it 14. Just about 7.5 minutes to go before halftime. And that showed Cam Jackson's breakaway speed on that one, Brian.
Absolutely. He's a great athlete. He's had a little bit of trouble this year staying on the field, but every time he touches the ball, he is electric and a great attitude, as he's definitely one of the fan favorites here, as he's always excited. So, and what I'm watching for here, Terrell, is to see if the Columbus Fire can keep this attitude that they have right now, not play into the hands of the Cincinnati Chiefs and get into those verbal spats, and try and stay on the positive note and continue to stay as a cohesive unit.
I look at right now Willie Beeman. He's stepping up and he's making plays. He was the key on that drive, Brian.
Yeah, he's
keeping plays alive. He's stepping up in the pocket. And as you talk about his mechanics, I mean, he's putting them right on the money.
Yeah, he looks really good for a big man back there playing quarterback. You would think that he's played all year the way that he's been able to throw these wide receivers, and I think that this offense is built perfectly for him,
It is.
as he does do a great job of finding those windows, being able to zip the ball in there quick with the strong arm that he does possess in those short, tight quarters.
And coming over to the sideline, the offensive line are really working together very well and feeling it. I love the energy here in Huff Acre Community Sports Complex right now, Brian.
Yeah, this is one of the first times I've seen them with the buzz on the sideline, and hopefully the defense can once again come out and make a huge play.
Fielded by Carl Dove. Has a couple blocks. Still up. But gang tackle by the Fire. Forward progress stops and driving old Dove back. The old Dove shack.
And the prototype number 18, John Jackson, with the first big hit there, unable to wrap up. But he is able to stop what looked like to be a very dangerous return. As you see, number 24 getting up to that second level, and the Fire defense actually able to swarm on him after John Jackson makes the initial hit, and you can see them pushing back a few yards as well.
And big number 22, Toussaint King, in the middle of everything, as he has been all day. Been looking for a chance to call his name. He's just been in the middle. He's been around the ball all day, Brian.
Yeah, and he's one of these backs for the. He's one of these guys that plays in the secondary for the Columbus Fire, and they're amped up. They're ready to go. They have been on point all night to this point, and hopefully they'll continue to make the big plays that they have and try and keep those receivers in front of them and make the short tackle.
So Mike Cross and the Fire defense out once again trying to protect a 2-touchdown lead, maybe pinning their ears back because there's some predictable passing situations.
Yeah.
In Cincinnati, you see trips near side, man-to-man coverage and one safety deep.
On the last couple of drives and they get in the backfield there, you've seen them have some success getting in the backfield, but not on that play.
A rumble and a stumble for about 5 by T.J. Harris. Wrapped up quickly by the linebacker core on the Fire. Chad Woodfork out there making sure everybody's lined up correctly in the Fire secondary.
So, and the good thing about that play, though, is you see the Fire defensive backs swarm to the football and make a gang tackle, which they've been able to do. They've been able to wrap up this running back all night and keep them in good position.
And Woodfork out here near side in the corner as another run from the shotgun formation. T.J. Harris once again. So maybe they're just trying to grind it out, get some rhythm, maybe burn up some clock, give their defense a rest here by running the ball a little bit. T.J. Harris.
Yeah, the defense has been on the field a lot as they haven't had very long drives, and they've turned the ball over a little bit. So you see number 11, Derek Samuels, in there being able to make a good play, not able to stop them for the first down, but able to keep it to at least a medium gain.
That run by T.J. Harris was good for a Cincinnati first down. Trips formation near side. Strong right formation for Cincinnati. Shotgun snap. Throws to the right, as you might imagine. And a first down by Deontay Riley. Cincinnati's in business here. Fire defense a little bit on the run. I don't understand why they didn't know the ball was going the right. It was trips right, and the running back was to the right side.
And
I mean, heck, you know where the ball's going. They're pointing to you.
Yeah, and you can see in the replay there, you don't have enough Fire defenders loaded up.
They just got
to
outflanked.
That side of the football. Exactly. They didn't load enough guys up there. They gotta make sure that they get in the same position, that they're on the same page when you see a formation like that.
Mike Tatum with the coverage, coming up to bump. One safety deep, two safeties deep that fall back late. Another run right up the middle. T.J. Harris for Cincinnati. Second down and 7 for Cincinnati.
So you can see what the thought process here is for Cincinnati as they have gone to the ground game, trying to give that defense a rest, but also trying to build some continuity and confidence in their offense, as the run game is always the way to build confidence and instill some of that meanness back in your offense, and then the play action pass will open up from there, which they haven't tried at all.
Trips right once again for the Cincinnati defense. You see that amoeba, one down lineman for the Fire defense. Coming off the edge, maybe got a little bit of a head start.
So, we do have a false start.
Good pressure nonetheless. Again, I guess It is good pressure when you get an early start.
They knew that it was coming. They could feel it.
Marcus Allen, who made a lot of big plays for the Fire this season, was coming off the edge, but got started a little bit early.
What exactly? See, and this is the stuff that you don't want to see the Fire get into. Rico Middlebrooks doesn't need to be in there on the offensive lineman, who for some reason is trying to protect the football instead of being in his own huddle. Leaders on this team and say, "Hey, guy, we got to watch this."
Maybe I see his girlfriend sitting out here. Maybe she can go down there and talk.
I'm not gonna touch that.
Hey, look, they always show Romo's girl. Deep pass to the right, but
Oh,
Aaron Davis and a host of other secondary defenders there for the Fire running into each other, not able to make the play, but good defense and swarming to the ball, reading their keys and getting there.
I'm telling you, I wasn't there for the conversation, Terrell, but I can tell you what the coaching staff told Aaron Davis. They said, go roam, go play center field, and make plays for us.
That old Earl Thomas role, because there's a lot of cover three, and you see one safety deep, a rover playing and looking for that run. So definitely now a third down and long situation here for Cincinnati. Third down and 12 to be exact. See some substitutions for the Fire defense. Mark Ratliff subbing, coming in, the big guy, adding some more pass rushing power on that defensive line in this big third down situation.
We are now on first down. Get up. I didn't see where it was, but maybe hands to the face.
Sloppy snap, but handoff up the middle. And Aaron Davis with the stop on the play, so he's making tackles out here. But again, you know, that might not be the best thing for the Fire defense, Brian.
Yeah, and you can see it right here. There's no one over there in that position ready to make a play. They have to be on the same page here, and they have to be lined up in the correct positions as they're starting to fall apart a little bit.
Because those bookends are supposed to be forcing the big 21 in the middle. And it doesn't seem like that's happening.
No, they've been
Marcus Allen's been getting owned all game. He's not making plays today. And he's pointing fingers and looking at him. You see big number 55, Marcus Allen. He might be feeling some kind of way now that OJ's coming out.
Well, I think if OJ showed up to run, I think that we'd all be ready to see the juice loose. But
some extracurricular activities. Middlebrooks has some words.
And
A.D. Davis.
And this is the stuff right here.
You can't involve yourselves in this thing. And again, you see him still going at it, and he's tried to bait him into doing something, and again, and he flopped and got him to get the call. So he baited the quarterback. The officials always see the second guy. They were jawing and going at it, and A.D. Davis loses his cool, pushes down Middlebrooks, who falls to the ground. And a soccer game just broke out in the middle of this football game, Brian.
So there are a lot of gold jerseys on the field, but this is what I want to see from the Fire, who obviously Rico Middlebrooks is blowing kisses from the sideline. I don't condone that in any way. They are in the head of the Cincinnati Chiefs, but they have to stay out of this. They've got to keep their cool.
The crowd is fired up right now. You hear the "Here we go, Fire" chant from the sidelines. And again, I think a soccer game broke out because that was a heck of a flop by Rico Middlebrooks on that play.
I'll tell you, and he's a veteran, so he's going to make a veteran play there, and you can't be upset with him that he makes that play. He baited the quarterback right into it. So now Rico Middlebrooks is back on the field, and A.D. Davis jumps on the ground, and they're going to call a penalty. It's a madhouse out here.
It is.
If you're not watching the game and you just listen to this, it's a madhouse. There's players all over the field. Rico Middlebrooks was just on the sideline, blowing kisses. He's back onto the field without his helmet on. And A.D. Davis, the quarterback for Cincinnati, comes out, and he gets in his face. And what's he going to do as soon as Rico Middlebrooks gets up to him? Do we have something on that? So this and
boy, I tell you, the crowd's going crazy. I don't envy the officials in this situation at all.
No, and you talk about what happened in the last game, and I don't want to see the lights turned off, But the way that it's going, I think they deserve to be.
Well, again, if we turn the lights off, then we forfeit the game. So that's not necessarily a viable option in this situation. It would be nice to be able to get the situation resolved in as an expedient amount of time as possible. Because again, this is an athletic endeavor, and you tend to cool off when you're standing around a little bit too long.
So, and that goes in Cincinnati's favor, as they're the ones they're starting to get their emotions back into the game, and the Fire are the ones standing on the sideline. As A.D. Davis has completely lost his mind.
He's lost it.
There's a man on the field with crutches. I'm not exactly sure what he's going to do.
I don't know what he's going to do.
And you hate to see this. The fans came out to watch a football game. They didn't come out to watch a brawl.
We got police officers on the field. They have guns. We're just trying to play football. It's a game.
A Fire homer, but these are facts. So you hope that these guys are able to keep their cool, because we cannot continue to have these stoppages. We've had 4 stoppages already. And, I mean, this isn't soccer where we have extra time.
We don't.
Before halftime and after the game. We're not going to get this time in our life back, Terrell.
We're not. It's gone. But I wouldn't want to be anywhere else but here, Brian. It does hurt Cincinnati. They had the momentum. And you see the Fire pulling LeBron when the Warriors are up 3-1, and LeBron goes and starts something with Draymond.
It's called savvy play.
It was.
And every veteran's got to have that in their book.
Exactly.
And say what you will about that play with LeBron and Draymond, but he baited him into that the entire series.
He did.
And the time that they needed it, it worked.
It did.
So I commend Rico Middlebrooks, obviously, for drawing the first penalty. Now the second penalty, where I think Aaron Davis may have been shot by a sniper. I'm not exactly sure what happened.
It's been an outbreak of that out here. Maybe somewhere in the trees.
So hopefully we're able to get out here, because the Lorain County Nightmares are not here, but I will be sleepless tonight if I continue to see this.
Hi-oh. I see what you did there, Brian.
I try to keep it light, Terrell.
That's good. You'll be here all night?
I will be here not all night until the end of the game.
The way this is going is going to be all night?
Well, they may be here, but I don't know that I will be.
Well, as they continue to get things figured out and discuss things, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, so stay with us.
Are you someone who has always dreamed of a career in sports media? The Ohio Media School now offers a 6-month sports emphasis program to prepare you for a whole new career. Whether it's radio or television, play-by-play or production, the Ohio Media School has you covered. You will receive training from professionals that are actually in the industry. The Ohio Media School will get you where you need to be for a successful career in this exciting, expanding field. To schedule a visit, call 614-655-5250 or go to beonair.com. Stop dreaming about a career in sports and make it a reality at the Ohio Media School.
So we're back.
Because we're going to start playing again. That's why we're back.
And hopefully the silliness is over, Terrell.
It is. We're done talking about it, and now we're going to keep playing the game.
Well, now Mike Cross is yelling at the Fire team, the defense, which he should be, as they've totally lost their minds as well, coming off the sideline. And I don't know where the momentum is on either
All
side
right.
of this.
So yeah, but they're spinning the clock. It's time to play football, so that's what we're gonna do now. And let's focus on what the situation is. Second quarter here. The clock's running right now. So if Cincinnati wants to get something going, they're gonna have to get something going here. They had a good drive going. They started running the ball, and now it's a first down
And forever.
and forever. After all the penalties for whatever and all the fisticuffs and all these offsetting penalties and things of that nature.
Finally,
AD
what we
is
came
back
to
in the
see.
shotgun, and we have one safety deep for the Fire. Low snap, looking to the left. After all that commotion, got a man open and gives up a doggone touchdown pass after you want to talk all that crap. And that's what I'm talking about. You have the momentum, you have things going, and now this. I mean, why can't you just shut up? It's not hard.
Well, I mean, you see a lot of time the Fire unable to get any pressure on number 17,
Listless
A.D. Davis.
offensively.
And wide open receiver, Deshaun Edwards, who we've talked about earlier in the game in the first quarter, is a guy that he's always looking for. And I know that this is Aaron Davis' first game playing safety, but he has to be aware of number to cover him, as do one of the other corners as well, as their man defense failed them right there.
$14-6, looking to make the extra point here. Justin Simpson with the attempt. The extra point is good, 14-7. A familiar score between the Cincinnati Chiefs and the Columbus Fire.
I think we've already seen this tonight, right?
We have. It's been 14-7 all season, Brian.
Yeah,
all
since,
season.
Since June 3rd, it had been 14-7.
And so, again, we did get to see the finish of the game from the first game of the season. Cincinnati was able to win that 15-14 earlier today. But right now, 14-7 ball game, 2.5 minutes before halftime. And after a lot of hubbub and interruption and a lot of emotional nonsense, we're back playing football. Hopefully, we can get the momentum back that was gained.
Well, and Michael Wilson and that Fire offense have been on the sideline for a good 15 or 20 minutes now. So hopefully that hasn't zapped their energy and taken the momentum away from them, as you see them talking to the offensive linemen trying to get them ready to go. But they have to keep their mind in it. They have to be ready to go. They have to know exactly what they're out to do when they are able to get possession here after the kickoff.
And the big center, Kevin Heim, on the sideline, trying to get hydrated, trying to get ready to get out there and dominate for the last 2 minutes of this quarter. If you're the offensive coordinator for the Fire, what type of drive are you looking to put together here, Brian?
Well, there's 2 minutes and 32 seconds, and you have all three of your timeouts. So you do have a chance to at least get one run in, but you're going to want to be throwing the football, trying to get out of bounds, running that 2-minute drill and try and get in the end zone and leave the Cincinnati Chiefs with no time on offense.
But why do you want to run the risk of being able to give the ball back to Cincinnati with this little time left in the half, Brian?
Because you're getting the ball here in the second half, so you want to continue to go up. You want to be able to put it up 28-7 starting the second half and build a huge momentum, as the Fire offense has done very well tonight. So you don't want to let the Chiefs build on exactly what they did on the last drive with that huge touchdown pass.
So fielded by Cam Jackson. A very solid return. Got out to about midfield. Great return for the Fire.
So, and this is the exact position that I know Coach Drew wants to be in with his offense, who has done a really good job with the short passing game. So hopefully the wide receivers are able to get open, able to get down, and get back in that huddle. Or if they're going to go with the no huddle, which we haven't seen yet tonight, but you want to see them be able to get down the field here very quickly to try and take another ball into the end zone.
Mike Tatum on the return for the Fire. Correction there. And so first down and 10. Got the ball right near midfield. 2.5 minutes to go before halftime from Huffaker Community Sports Complex in Grove City, Ohio. Willie Beeman in the shotgun. Douse to his right. Hands it off to Douse. Up the middle. Breaks the tackle. And spun down after a gain of 5.
And that's exactly what Coach Drew's looking for. That's a great play to start off the drive. Here's the clock run, so you get that thing juiced up, and you get a short little gain, exactly what you want, short and 2 with 2nd and 4 to go. So that's exactly what they're looking for as they get the clock running, and now they can go ahead and get to the passing attack.
Big Matt Neal, leader on that offensive line,
And
number 75.
I don't exactly understand what the Fire were thinking there, as they allowed a lot of time to run off the clock just to call a timeout. They have to know exactly what their plan is here if they want to get into the end zone with only 2 minutes left.
I think maybe, Brian, the impact of not being able to have everybody there at practices is what shows up in these 2-minute situations, late game situations, where the communication is critical in these situations. And so you see commonly in these games, in the last 2 minutes before the half and the last 2 minutes of the game, that's when things tend to slow down. A lot of mistakes are made because that's when communication is most critical.
Yeah, and some NFL teams like the Patriots will even dedicate almost an entire day on offense to the 2-minute drill and also goal line plays. So in red zone offense, should I say. So
you
yeah,
don't have time.
Yeah,
you don't
absolutely.
have time to explain. That's the thing, and that's why communication throughout the week and different things and having to be effective is so
paramount.
important.
It's
because
paramount.
when you don't have time to explain crap to people, that's when it's vital.
Yeah, and some of the short signals that you may have in this situation, you don't have because you don't have time to install that type of offense where you have the verbal calls. I know that they have the risk quarterbacks out there on the offense, but that short game with some hand signals and also the verbal signals is very helpful.
On the keeper is Willie Beeman, but the play's blown dead.
Going to be a false start. I believe that's the right tackle.
And so, yeah, when everything's perfect, things go okay. But when it's a pressure situation, mistakes are made. And that's, again, it's just an unfortunate situation when it comes to the PAFL and guys having lives and different things. And so just got to bear with us on this.
Absolutely. So now the Fire erased that great first down run that they have. So they most certainly have to go to the passing attack. Hopefully Michael Wilson is thinking about throwing the ball out of bounds next time instead of running it to preserve that clock.
And that penalty did stop the clock, so that's also working against the Fire here. 2 minutes to go. Willie Beeman drops back, looks left to the sideline, has Cam Jackson, but it's tipped away.
And
the clock is stopped once again.
And that's another ball.
Third down.
And that's another ball that Michael Wilson doesn't step in to throw on, and he leaves it hanging up for the defender to make a play on the sideline when he could have driven it right into Cam Jackson. You see it right there, so light on his front foot as his back foot just stays right down.
It's a little bit of relief as the sun fades behind the clouds and trees. It sets here, the beautiful sunset here at about 8:30 from Grove City, Ohio, Huffaker Community Sports Complex. A 3rd down and 10. It's like a passing situation, Brian.
This is obviously this is a passing situation, and you've got to be able to get some yardage here because you may end up giving the Chiefs a little bit of decent field position.
And a little bit too high. For the intended receiver on that play. Take a look at what happened here on the replay.
So when you have Michael Wilson dropping back, he does have a little pressure in his face, so he doesn't exactly have the time to take a full drop, as he does throw once again off his back foot, unable to step up into the pocket and deliver a catchable ball to the wide receiver downfield who was wide open.
So a ton of time here for Cincinnati to be able to put something together and maybe tie this ball game up or possibly take the lead going into halftime. The exact opposite of what you want if you're the Fire here, lined up for the punt. Steven Sherrick looking to reverse the field and give the Fire defense a little bit more of an advantage here. Defend the field going into halftime. Renoir Thomas is the personal protector. Low snap, but the punt is high and long. Great punt by Sherrick, fielded by Dre Reap and tackled Johnny on the spot on the sideline.
And that's great coverage there
Outstanding
by the
coverage.
return by the punt team.
Rayshawn Maxwell on the tackle.
I don't have a number 81 down. Who is the first player
I
down
was
there?
hoping you did.
I do not have one down. I believe that is our guy. I believe that's our guy Derek from Wittenberg. Yep. I'm not exactly sure. I think that is definitely him. I can't. Well, either way, whoever it is, number 81 makes a great play, and that's exactly what you want to see. You want to see those gunners getting down there in that situation and putting your defense in a much better position after the offense is unable to convert and get you a touchdown here before half.
So the 2-minute drill here for Cincinnati.
So, and this is where A.D. Davis is looking to get some time from his offensive line and try and probably get the ball to number 85. And that's Deshaun Edwards.
I think our Aaron Davis is better than their Aaron Davis.
There's only one Aaron Davis.
Looks right, passes to the sideline. Good coverage.
Oh.
And great hit over the top. Chad Woodfork, first time calling his name tonight. He's a big play guy, and that's not the first time we're going to call his name.
Absolutely not. And we talk about Aaron Davis playing one safety, but Chad Woodfork is also out there.
He's
deep.
the rover.
He's that Cam Chancellor that you talk about. You talked about the Earl Thomas position for Aaron Davis, and Chad Woodfork is obviously out there bringing the pain, just like number 31 for the Seattle Seahawks.
Absolutely. So it's been strictly cover 3, at least in terms of looks from pre-snap from the Fire defense. They like that rover coming through, playing in the slot. You see Chad Woodfork lined up straight in the slot. Corners back off, place off. He's looking left, throws underneath, unable to come up with it.
And that's why you don't wear 00.
That's the biggest reason why you don't wear 00.
Because you drop a ball wide open, and I get to say it.
You do, yeah.
And they have two zeros down. I'm assuming the first one will be 00. So that looks like it is Rico Pritchett, who was the man that decided to go 00 this year.
Surprisingly, Dyshawn Edwards, 85. We haven't called his name too much more for Cincinnati.
No, not at all. And I think that is due to number 23 out there, Jordan Marshall, who has locked him down pretty good tonight. And the Fire secondary continues to hold up, excluding the one play. So obviously their zone defense has worked as well, where the Chiefs' offense and A.D. Davis has not been able to find the receivers down the field.
2nd down and 20 for Cincinnati. Anthony Harris lined up in the slot for the Fire on defense. Low snap, looks right, fires right, complete. Almost enough for the first down is Deontay Riley on the catch. That's his 4th catch of the day, so he's been productive for Cincinnati today.
Yeah, and you can see the Fire and what looked like to me a prevent defense, and we know all the prevent defense is
it prevents you from winning.
From winning.
That's what it does.
Exactly. As you can see, there's no pressure. They rush 3, and you got to be able to do a little bit because A.D. Davis, he's shown tonight that he's going to be able to find somebody if he's got time.
Oh, yeah, there is only one Aaron Davis. It's Antonio Davis. What am I talking about? Great catch and throw, but on the spot. Heck of a way to anticipate, and maybe it's targeting. We'll see what the officials call it. Looks like they decided to not call a targeting on Trayvon Chavis. Johnny on the spot.
He sees that play coming all the way. He's covering that running back out of the backfield. That's his job in the cover 3. And he does exactly what he's supposed to do. He's laying the hammer down to keep it 4th down here.
And that's a huge play. T.J. Harris was looking to – he had room to run if he was able to make that.
Yeah, and you want to give that – that's what you're looking for in the cover 3. You're looking to give that linebacker a chance to come up and make a play and knock the snot out of somebody, and Chavis gives you exactly what the coaching staff drew up.
Playing that Bobby Wagner role.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the cover
exactly.
3 scheme.
Yeah, Bobby, and you talk about Malcolm Smith, who was the Super Bowl MVP as well, with the return in that exact same position against the Denver Broncos and Peyton Manning on his way to the Super Bowl MVP.
And so you see the Fire defense doing a great job of reading their keys and being on top of it. That's just from the coaches and being prepared, and also just knowing your scheme and where your guys are on defense.
Yeah, and we talked about it to begin the day. The Fire defense talked about it practice. We said Mike Wiggins, he echoed it. The rest of the guys echoed it. They wanted to have discipline. They wanted to have communication so that they could put themselves in a position to get a win. So,
and a timeout here called by the Fire because, of course, this has to take much longer than it needs to take.
We also have we do also, I think what we have here is a clock issue as well, where the clock was running and then it stopped and then it's running again. But you see A.D. Davis now playing peacemaker with one of his offensive linemen.
Of all people.
Well, you got to grow up sometime, Terrell.
Indeed, Brian. Indeed. Just see him blossoming and growing up before our eyes. Just from earlier in the quarter.
And I'm happy for him. You talk about how important the quarterback position is. You can't have a hothead out there because it really leads to flattening your team when you're not succeeding, as they were not in the first quarter and a half. But now they've been able to grow and grow and grow in the game, and you continue to see the talking. And once again, number 17, he's the father figure out there now. He's come to fruition.
What I wonder, though, is why the players are even allowed to talk to the officials. I think as a league, it's something that you might want to look into in terms of the Constitution and say, hey, look, the only person that's allowed to talk to the officials is the coach.
Well, and I think the problem that you have there, Terrell, is with the way the league shapes up and with what you have going on with some of the guys, is you're going to see way too many penalties, and I think that situation. And you're going to see a lot of ejections. And I understand what you're saying, and I don't 100% disagree with you, but you can't be playing 9-on-9 out there.
Oh, well. Don't forfeit for your team because you want to be emotional and talk to the officials. Your opinion doesn't damn count.
I agree. I 100% agree with you, but at the same time, we've seen it. There's a lot of pressure being shown there by the Fire, but unable to make the play.
And so enough to pick up the first down there on fourth down with 30 seconds to go here before the half. Another timeout.
No, we have
dead ball.
Yeah, to move
the chains.
Nope, no, we do actually have a timeout. I didn't see the referee signal the timeout. I just saw him stop the clock. So we do have a timeout for Cincinnati.
Because of course we do.
Well, and I know the scoreboard's not reading correctly, but I do believe that they are down to no timeouts at this point in the game.
Here's the thing, and there's certain things when it comes down to the end of the game that are a little bit confusing. If you wanted to save time, why are you running the ball? It's hard to say.
Yeah, well, and you talked about it when you don't have the time at practice every week, when you don't have guys being able to show up every day and put things in and talk about situations, then you do get into a situation where, well, I don't know about calling a run play, but where you don't have guys lined up in the right spots and you're not exactly sure what your game plan is for the situation.
But I tell you what, I understand that these guys are out here and they're paying their money to play. And you have a certain ownership of the team when that's the case. But guess what? When the coach doesn't have any power because you think you run things, that's what happens in late game situations. Because the coach has to be the one voice at the end of the game. So first down situation, 14-7, 30 seconds to go. Cover 3, coverage, one safety deep is Aaron Davis for the Fire. A blitz, Marcus Allen coming in unabated, looks left, picked off, and returned. Excellent play by the Fire defense. Way to anticipate it and read the keys and be right on top of it.
Wow, and you see him, you talk about dropping into cover 3, and that's exactly where the corner is supposed to be in that situation. He's lurking right underneath the receiver, and that is our guy, number 23, Jordan Marshall, who has stepped up to the number 1 corner position tonight and shown that he's very comfortable playing in this zone 3 and
you see,
able to make big plays.
Even though it is a cover 3, it looks like maybe they're matching up, right? Because earlier he was playing near side on the field, but you see him kind of moving around. So I thought if you see in Seattle, Richard Sherman, he only plays on one side of the field. So is it a true cover 3 if they're following particular receivers wherever they go?
Well, I would say not, but I did see Richard Sherman move around a little bit last year
Okay.
to cover the bigger receivers since they are a little short at that position. They've had some guys move on for bigger contracts to other teams. Thankfully to Richard Sherman because nobody's throwing his way,
That's
so
true.
they're able to make plays. But I'll take my hat off to the Fire coaching staff getting out of that prevent defense and putting them back in their base, dropping back into cover 3.
So an opportunity here with 25 seconds to go before the half. Trips to the top of the screen. Willie Beeman steps up and looks right. Dangerous throw.
Ooh.
And cut off there at the end. The coverage there by Dre Reed.
And you see him looking again for Khalid Hill, who has made plays all night.
Yes.
So you can see some comfortability between those two starting to see itself out.
19 seconds left to go before the half.
So
Subbing out for the Fire. David King. Actually, just going to get the play, running it in.
So
Mike Tatum also out there for the Fire.
I believe the Fire have one timeout now. So you see them with the ball right on the 49.5-yard line in Cincinnati territory with 19 seconds left. So they do have plenty of time to try and get into position for at least a field goal and try and take a 17-7 lead into halftime. Obviously, the goal is to score, though.
It is. The goal of football is to score more points than the other team. It's very simple. Play clock is under 10 seconds. Willie Beeman looks left. Wide open is David King, and he's hit immediately just short of the first down. Third down and short with 13 seconds to go before the half.
And I do like the play call there, running those DBs deep into the field so you're able to get David King underneath and take advantage of the timeout that you've saved for yourself without having to put yourself in a worse position. So that you set yourself up for a short third and short where you can throw it to the end zone or still try and get out of bounds with 13 seconds left.
And so looks like maybe the coaches are out on the field right now. So another timeout. Who knows how many timeouts are available? Seems like it's unlimited here in the last 2 minutes.
There are no timeouts left for the Fire. And if they call another timeout, I call malarkey.
Well, the coach is out on the field in this huddle for some reason.
They called a timeout.
Okay, so that was it for the Fire.
I
right?
saw the arms. I saw the arms go towards the opposite end zone from where the Fire are going offense. So it's the first time I've seen it all night, Terrell. So the officials are growing up here too.
They are,
man. It's great to see evolution between people.
It's all kind of maturity happening here.
Darwin would be happy.
Darwin's rolling over in his grave. Third down for the Fire, shotgun snap. Beeman looks up the middle, steps up in the pocket, and is hit and taken down. He has a lineman rolled up on, unfortunately, there. So Alan McPherson down on the play. We'll see if he's able to recover. Got caught at the wrong place at the wrong time on that one.
So, and I think Michael Wilson, not exactly sure what he may have been looking at there as the Chiefs drop out of their typical zone coverage and go into a man coverage just to try and take care of all 5 wide receivers for the Fire.
In that situation, though, if you're Willie Beeman, why not just take off and run? They're in man coverage, right?
Well, you have no timeouts. The clock's not going to stop even if you get a first down. And he's got a long way to go as they are in the middle of the field to get to the sideline.
So one last gasp here on fourth down and short. Play clock is running down. It's under 10 seconds right now.
It's a verbal play clock tonight.
Beeman drops back, looks right, rolls right, looking for the end zone, throwing it up, has a receiver running out of room and out of bounds. 2.6 seconds left, and Cincinnati will have one more play to be able to run.
So, and I think that's the opposite of what you want here.
It is.
I'm not exactly sure the arm strength that A.D. Davis has in his tank, but I think you want to see him at least run the clock to zeros there and then heave the ball up. He had plenty of time, so that's another thing. When you're talking about communication, you want to make sure that you get into your quarterback's head. This is our situation. This is what we need to do. And he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't put them in the right position. So anything can happen here on the last play before the half.
And that's the crazy part about football. That's what makes football so exciting to watch because, again, you could play all night, and then that last play is where everything happens. and or that last, like for example, I was watching the tape of the first overtime game in SEC history back in '96, Georgia and Auburn,
Oh wow.
and
Yeah.
they
What a
gave
game.
that extra play. It went into overtime. It was the first time,
Yeah.
college overtime rules were used in the SEC.
And luckily the Chiefs take a knee here. As
All right.
you see a little playfulness. But the Fire have had trouble with those late game situations all year. They've been in a few. They were in overtime. You see what happened before this game started, where they lose 15-14 after they start the game with a minute and 51 seconds. And you talk about last week what happened to them in Indianapolis. So those are the situations you got to learn from.
And these are the types of things that affect you when you're in the playoffs.
Exactly, and that's the key is that the Fire are currently in the playoffs, but with plays like that, they may have a 4 seed instead of a 2.
Which is significant. You want to go into the playoffs with the highest possible seed, right?
Exactly. So you play the teams that aren't as good as the better teams, which is a no-brainer, but they're going to be traveling on the road anyway. At least that's what I'm told. Either way. But you want to at least give yourself the best chance to win against a lesser opponent than what you would have faced had you just done what you're supposed to do.
Indeed. So what we're supposed to do right now is step away for halftime. Stay with us. We'll be back in a few.
And we are actually going to go ahead and we're going to send it down to Rob on the sideline, who is with Coach Dede. Rob, what do you have for us?
Kansas City Chiefs. The Cincinnati Chiefs. I got Coach Dede with me right here. Coach, crazy first half, but how do you feel about your team keeping their composure through the midst of it all?
The first thing is the first game. Had we played with this intensity, we wouldn't have this issue. We wouldn't have lost the first game. I'm not even going to comment on the behavior. I'm just not. I'm not. I'm not going to comment on their behavior and all of that. Go ahead.
Fine, Coach. Other than that, you having a great, strong second half, all right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, no problem.
What's up? I'll take it.
All right, back to you guys up front. I'm thinking Chiefs.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and step away for halftime and join us in the second half for more of the Score on Air Showcase Game of the Week.
The future of broadcasting is evolving, and you can be on the front line. Digital and traditional media jobs are being created daily, and the Columbus campus of the Ohio Media School can help you find your next career. With financial aid and job placement assistance available, the Columbus campus of the Ohio Media School provides instruction from industry-experienced veterans like me, ready to share their knowledge of the media broadcasting industry. Contact us today at 614-655-5250 or apply online at beonair.com. The Ohio Media School. Media broadcasting training starts here.
And we're back. 14-7 here from Huffaker Community Sports Complex. What are we looking at in the second half here, Brian?
Well, we're looking at the Fire to hopefully get back on track and try and get back into the running game maybe a little bit. As they have struggled, they haven't really been running it too much since they scored that second touchdown. They haven't really had a ton of possession. We've had a lot of stoppages, and the Chiefs' mindset is to continue to get in the Fire's head.
How'd those stats go that you kept in the first half?
There are 3 squiggly lines for the Fire and 4 squiggly lines for the Chiefs. So as stats go, they are not official. They are unofficial to this point. But if I can find someone to sign off on them,
it won't be the Elias Sports Bureau.
Well, we know that we can't get a membership to there, and you think you grow up, you grow up in a decently sized town, and you have a lot of friends.
You do.
And then you go to college, and you fall in love, and then people lie to you.
They do.
They tell you things that could possibly happen about, per se, Elias Sports Bureau.
They do. Who would do something like that?
Oh my gosh, what is his name? I believe that it is Terrell.
Oh, my bad, bro.
Yeah, so
I was trying. Look, it was all. My heart was in the right place.
Well, without StatCast and without Elias Sports Bureau, I believe that we are doing a good job keeping track of timeouts.
I tell you what. Are we doing a good job of tracking timeouts?
I know how many. Well, maybe not we. Maybe just me.
No, Khalid Ali has 4 catches today. For 3 of them for first downs. That's all I got. But that's an important stat. Again, and Willie Beeman. He's been a bright spot, keeping things alive despite all the shenanigans and how things slow down, which they normally do before the half. But Willie Beeman with that touchdown pass and touchdown run.
And I did learn some very interesting information during halftime.
Care to share?
I do care to share. So we've talked about him all night. We talked about the quarterback, number 17, Antonio Davis.
That's right, Antonio.
Is a former Columbus Battlestar quarterback.
Aha.
And that has
him a little like Battlestar Galactica.
No, he played for this very organization under a different name as a quarterback, and he's had some choice words to say to Coach Dede
about personal,
about not letting him go, and how they should have kept him. Obviously, Coach Dede was not here for that, but this organization let number 17 walk out the door, and he is none too thrilled with it.
Yeah, we're about to find out.
And to this point, he's done a decent job of backing it up. He had a great pass there to Deshaun Edwards, who the Fire secondary, to their credit, has kept him on lock all night.
That's true. That might have been the reason for that breakaway touchdown. Is a little bit keying too much on number 85 for Cincinnati.
Yeah, and the miscommunication with Aaron Davis. He's still a new player. Obviously, he's made some great plays, but not in the correct position on that one. So hopefully at halftime they're able to talk about that exact play itself and get it cleaned up so they don't see anybody running wide open down the seam anymore.
And a shout out to Ohio Media School providing us with the new graphic. Really nice. The bug you see at the top of your screen. We're constantly upgrading our equipment, our ability to broadcast, and so that's something that's going to
we even have it down in what yard line the ball is on.
Yes.
So making upgrades mid-season. Very happy to see that. We are moving along, moving up in the world. Technology is coming. From what I am told, we should be expecting a truck in the fall, maybe. So if you're a high school football fan, watch out for us when that time comes.
Oh yeah.
But here comes the second half.
And a squib kick fielded by the Fire. Catches a couple blocks and goes down out of bounds. What's the reason for the squib kick there? I mean, what's that all about?
I cannot get in the thought process. They haven't given up any big kicks thus far. So I know the thought process is to stay away from Aaron Davis.
Yes.
But you put the Fire offense into a great field position with the ball here at what looks to be the 39-yard line on their own side of the field.
So here we go, 14-7. Fire with the ball, and like you said, again, you're getting the ball to start the half. Coming out, sun is down now, lights are on.
And
What are we looking for from the Fire? I mean, what are we looking for from Willie Beeman?
We're looking for them to be calm, cool, and collected. We're looking for them to go ahead and maybe run the football and to also stay with that short passing game as they are already shooting themselves in the foot.
Cam Jackson coming through with the jet sweep motion, but Cincinnati's right on top of it. Tackle for loss in the backfield.
Well, and that's one of those plays right there where you talk about not having a lot of practice time, and you see two guys coming through and a quarterback that hasn't played with them a ton, and he's got to do a little ball handling as he's faking one handoff, and unfortunately Maurice Dowse unable to catch the second one.
And we lose the fumble, so it's a turnover right there.
Yeah, obviously not the way that you want to start. We know that the Fire can get down on themselves, unfortunately. So hopefully they do stay up on the sideline. They've been very good thus far, but the momentum stays with the Chiefs.
And so all of that, we get the ball to start the half. All that's out the window now with that turnover on the first play of the second half. And again, like we talked about in the preview here for Week 8, you don't want to be that team that's shooting yourselves in the foot. Handoff right up the middle. Got a crease and a block into the Fire secondary. Enough for the first down and more. Tyrone Berry Jr.
There is some laundry on the field, though, Terrell, so it looks like it's probably going to be coming back.
In the area of holding.
Let's see if we can see anything here on the replay. So, yeah, absolutely. Number 72 pulls down Mike Cross, I believe. And that is number 72 is Josh Ellison. You can see him pull down big number 21 right there to allow the running back to get through that hole.
So we're going to back it up. Heck of a run, but that's why it was such a big hole.
That's why we keep the officials.
That's why we do. And again, maybe for the second half we can institute the rule. Only the coach is allowed to talk to the official. Because at all other levels of play, I'm pretty sure that's the rule, is it not?
Well,
I know in high school it is.
Well, I see players talk to officials at every level. Now, obviously, the officials are the ones that grab the players, and I don't know that is allowed or should be. And I don't. But
there's really no reason for
to have a discussion. The call is the call. It's not going to change.
Because if it's a decline or accept decision, the coach is making that decision. The only people that the officials ever need to talk to is the coach. There's no reason on the field for them to talk to the players.
Well, you talk about a guy like Tom Brady who does work the officials every game out, and I don't know that works to his advantage or not. I'm going to attribute some of his success with the officials to that, where he is gracious most of the time, but obviously we've seen him run off the field with his helmet off, cursing in their face.
We have. Big Mark Ratliff providing the pressure, coming off the outside. A.D. Davis with the pass, just short of a first down. Another flag on the play. Looks like it's in the area of holding once again, so we might not have to count that as well.
Well, and you see the completion, and you talk about cover three. The secondary was not in the correct position. They have to have better communication about who's sitting in what zone. You see one corner a little higher than the other, and they allow that zone to open up for the wide receiver.
Just open up that window, huh?
Yeah, and that is an example, Terrell, once again, of what a window looks like.
Don't explain it to me. Explain it to Joe Thomas.
Well, he knows what they look like because that's all they throw to.
That is true.
We
don't throw up and over guys.
Well, they weren't saying that when they had Devin Smith, but that's another story, I guess.
It was. So still first down. First down and 15 now for Cincinnati. So after that untimely turnover, which, again, when is a turnover timely?
When you're rooting for the other team.
That's true. That is true. First down and 15, shotgun formation, one safety deep for the Fire, Aaron Davis. Looking right, and another interception, but tipped. Dyshawn Edwards with his second catch of the game. You can't let this guy get going with tips like that.
No, and Trayvon Chavis making the right play, dropping down in the cover three in that position. We talked about him playing earlier from linebacker, dropping right in that zone, but just unable to make the play. And A.D. Davis Antonio Davis, with plenty of time to throw the football. And some of the Fire defensive linemen were down, and we do have a player down from an injury.
Shaking up on the play. We got a couple players down. Wow, yeah. So Mike Tatum appears to be okay, as well as
Yeah, it looks like he just
not as well for Marcus Allen coming off the field. He's walking a little bit gingerly.
Mike Cross. Correct?
Marcus Allen.
Marcus Allen. Okay.
55.
I don't know numbers.
Oh, no. You're right.
Yeah. There we go. I do know numbers. I can see.
See, don't get so down on yourself, Brian.
It was the authority that you came with.
It.
It was the authority you came with.
Hey, listen.
You scared me off my position.
Well, thank you. That's
and that's a big story going forward for the Fire. Mike
It
Cross,
is.
a guy that plays both ways, offense and defense. You want to see him get back on the field as quickly as possible, but dropping a ton of liquids here in this hot weather.
Another handoff up the middle for Tyrone Berry Jr. Gains a couple. On second down, so it's going to be third down and 7, or second down and 7.
And Mike Cross luckily headed back out to the field. So you see a decent push, but the defensive end there able to get up the field and make the play, which is what the Fire pride themselves on. And we haven't seen a ton of it tonight, but there's a situation where we get to.
And Matt Neal on the sideline trying to shoot a Gatorade bottle into the trash can. He missed.
No trash
so he's
can
not
Kobe.
like Kobe. Yes.
No trash can Kobe.
Shotgun formation, one safety deep for the Fire. Looking right, looks back to the middle. A man wide open in the end zone and caught for a touchdown.
And that's
there goes that man again.
Yeah. That right there is the miscommunication that you cannot see in cover 3, as you see Antonio Davis looking off the defender to the other way, and the inexperience there of Aaron Davis showing its face as he gives up the touchdown, being out of position. And that's a savvy play by number 17 on offense.
And so, again, I mean, is that just Aaron Davis cheating a little bit too much defensively and trying to read the quarterback's eyes and get that jump? Is that what that is?
Well, he's been cheating all night. He's made a couple plays from it. So you see halftime, obviously the Chiefs have noticed that. They communicated that
they did
to Antonio Davis.
They did.
And he's gone out and done exactly what he was supposed to do, looking him off and getting the aggressive number 10 into the wrong position and able to open it wide up for the wide receiver.
And Justin Simpson unable to convert on the extra point. So still a 1-point lead for the Fire after as disastrous of a way to start a half as you can have from the Fire, still with a 1-point lead, Brian.
Yeah, and they're still in a great position in the game with a ton of time to go, but you can feel the Chiefs' energy starting to grow and maybe the sideline for the Fire starting to hang their heads a little bit. So hopefully Mike Wilson is able to get in the face of that offensive line and get that push that they had earlier in the game and see them moving down the field at least a little bit to give the defense a break here.
And so right now, what are you trying to do if you're the Fire on offense on this possession? Are you passing the ball? Are you running the ball? I mean, what are you doing?
I'm looking for a run here. They haven't established that running game yet tonight. They did have a few plays where it's peeked its head a little bit, but you have to establish that physicality again. You got to let the Chiefs know that you do have the ability to once again push them around, and that's what's going to allow Mike Wilson the opportunity to sit back there in the pocket.
True.
And to find those guys in the windows,
Terrell,
Terrell, and also get the ball downfield to the big playmakers like John Jackson and Cameron Jackson, the Jackson brothers.
Yes, brothers from another mother. Are they really brothers?
They are not brothers to my knowledge, but they are both great football players.
Because I have accused you of thinking everyone with the same last name are related.
Oh,
and
no.
Another turnover for the Fire, unprepared, not ready for the ball to come their way. A squib kick touched clearly by the Fire and recovered by Cincinnati. Cincinnati's in business.
Very reminiscent of the New Orleans Saints and the Indianapolis Colts right there with the squib kick, unexpecting the Chiefs with their head on straight and the Fire with their heads on backwards as they are in total disarray right now to start the half.
And again, like I did notice, there was a lack of focus during halftime from the Fire. I did try to take a trip and make it to the latrines and relieve myself during halftime. And on my way back up, I just heard a lot of the Fire players making cat calls at different ladies, in the crowd. What are you guys doing? You guys supposed to be in the huddle and talking about what you're going to do coming out in the second half. And you can see that lack of focus as we start the second half.
Yeah,
it's been a crap show, Brian.
They're not taking you can see them not taking it seriously right now. You talk about that stuff that went on in halftime, and you have to have, and we continue to harp on it. The communication is not there. You see guys in the wrong spot, and you hope they're able to rebound here and get a stop and get that offense back on the field, as the defense got zero break after that very long drive.
Absolutely. So 5-yard run by T.J. Harris for Cincinnati.
So, and you see a great push by the offensive line, a good hole, running back able to make a good move, and the Fire on their heels,
to say the least. So, right now it'd be great. Fire, get your heads out of the third point of contact. It's a football game. You're fortunate enough to still be up by one despite a modicum of mistakes. So, again, you see the cover 3 look. Aaron Davis over the top, single, and the blitz coming from Marcus Allen. He misses the tackle. Safety to beat for Tyrone Berry Jr., running back by committee here for Cincinnati, just going back and forth. T.J. Harris and Berry pounding the football, but more laundry on the field. A chop block against Cincinnati. So we're going to back that up.
Yeah, so, and you can see a point of emphasis now from the Fire from the Fire defensive coaching staff is to try and get as many people in Antonio Davis's face as they brought the house on that play, and it bit them in the butt. Luckily, they're able to recoup with the penalty.
And so, again, right now, a lot goes on the coaching staff, and rightfully so. But at the same time, you got to have some self-discipline out there, right, Brian?
Absolutely. You have to have discipline, especially in this moment of chaos. You got to be able to talk to each other. You don't want to be arguing. You want to be talking, and you want to have your head on straight because you want to know exactly what's coming. And if you get out of position, this offense is good enough to run by you
and make you pay.
Exactly.
Because every little lapse you see has been taken advantage of, and those have been the scores. It's just been lapses.
Yeah, and the Chiefs may not be the biggest team, but they have been very intelligent all night, to say the least. Yeah, and maybe all that trash talk that they did, maybe that was the right thing to do, as it looks like they may be in the Fire's head now.
And right there, when we watch this replay, take a look at number 95, Terrell Byrd. And it's a heck of a swim move. Look at that. Boom. He's coming through. He's putting on that pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see the secondary exactly in the spots that they're supposed to be, dropping into the cover 3 again all night. That's what they're going to do. So you want to make sure that you get in your spot and cover your zone.
I wonder if Terrell Bird's out of Whitehall. His name sounds familiar, like a name that I called a lot doing Whitehall yearling games, coming off the edge a lot like that. Ramel Byrd is also a player at Whitehall, so I might be part of the same family.
Well, it's a local team. A lot of Columbus guys here.
Absolutely.
Do have a few guys from out of town coming from Cincinnati, and we talked about Mike Wilson big time and hopping on the plane from Maryland to get up here.
Right.
But yeah, you got to assume we'll talk to him after the game, hopefully.
Bird coming, jailbreak blitz, throws it up, but still.
And this is a situation where you have Aaron Davis playing one side of the field, but he is not as deep as the deepest receiver. He's too far back.
And right now, they might call a late hit on A.D. Davis. Marcus Allen had 2 steps after the ball was released, and so we'll see what the call is here.
It's unsportsmanlike conduct. Yep. Yeah, you can argue, you can say all you want, but Marcus Allen earned that. When you know that you get 1 step, that's the new rules to protect quarterbacks. You gotta; those are the money makers. Obviously not in this league, but at the league that writes the rules for this league.
And it is NFL rules here.
You
Definitely
got
is.
it. Yes, absolutely. And you have to protect those guys from a 300-pound man as they are defenseless, especially with their arm up in the air.
And you can't ragdoll a guy, and that's really where the penalty came in. When you swing the guy,
Yeah.
and which, again, when I was a player as a linebacker, that was my favorite thing to do, is to ragdoll the quarterback. I love doing that. So I definitely feel how fun it is, but
Yeah,
a little bit late that time.
but this day and age, you have to play with the rules. You have to play within the confines of it.
If they would have had one step, you could have ragdolled him, right? Still, he would have been good. Run
Yeah.
up the middle. Once again, a rumbling and a stumbling and a bumbling and just kind of wearing out this Fire defense, but subbing out.
And T.J. Harris is starting to look good. He's starting to heat up a little bit. He's had a couple good runs here on this drive, even though one of those was called back. But you see him starting to gain some momentum. And a decent little athletic play. He is tripped up, but you see him jumping over one, and you hate to see that guy get in the secondary as they are playing a little bit smaller defenders for the Fire.
Both Anthony Harris, as there's another run, and you see a scrum stood up, forward momentum is stopped, and they blow it dead.
And there's another flag on the play. It happened right, so let's try and see if we can find out what happened.
T.J. Harris on the run for Cincinnati.
I don't see exactly what happened there in that replay. Did you see the call?
I did not.
So,
I see Morris Dow's coming in on defense for the Fire. So, again, trying to rotate guys in is what it looks like.
Yeah, you got to keep guys fresh on a night like this, especially when they're not in the NFL type of shape.
Yes.
So you got to go with who you can, and hopefully Maurice Dowse is able to make a play on the other side of the ball.
Big Joshua Keith coming on the blitz, coming off the outside, and able to stop that run for a minimal gain on third down and just a few yards. We'll see where the spot is and if it was enough for a first down. It looks to be a little bit short.
So, and great call there by the Fire defensive coaching staff.
Oh,
As you see them load the line of scrimmage and linebackers getting downhill and didn't quite catch the number of who that was playing middle linebacker on the play, but he gets right in there and busts up that hole.
More subbing in and out. Chad Woodford coming back in, playing that rover position on the Fire defense as Cincinnati inches closer to the end zone. Fire defense trying to make a stop here and get the ball back for their offense, nursing a 1-point lead. High snap, but penetration once again, changing the line of scrimmage. Maurice Dowse, the first guy there, making plays on offense and defense.
So, and the Fire lining up right in position, and you can see them blitzing. You can see Mike Cross getting right around there. You see a couple other guys getting there to make the play. So the Fire loading that line of scrimmage for this entire drive and the last drive. They're saying you're not going to beat us with the run. You better beat us over the top.
And in terms of a football team, can a defense be the leader of the team?
Absolutely. I think historically we've seen a few defenses that have been the leader of the team. If you see circa the 2001 Ravens and circa the 1985 Bears, who led their teams to the Super Bowl. But credit to the Chiefs coaching staff right there. They run a play where the Fire linebackers evacuate the spot on the blitz again
and
as
Deontay
they
Riley
continue
with
to
the
go with
catch.
the same thing. Yeah, that's a great play call. But in that situation, Aaron Davis has to be playing closer to the line of scrimmage because he has to anticipate that if you've been running that for the last 7 plays, that they're going to throw it right over the middle.
Cam Jackson on the coverage there. He was just a step behind him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's playing, and he's not playing with inside leverage. That's another thing as well.
So Cincinnati is in business, first down and goal from the 10-yard line. Shotgun formation, amoeba defense. Here comes the Fire, bringing the pressure. Another run up the middle and a scramble for 3 to 4 yards.
So, and if you're Cincinnati, you're very happy with what you're seeing from your offense.
You do, you are.
As they're able to establish the run now, and the Fire are sacrificing everything to stop it. So
selling out.
Yeah. So you wonder if they're going to go back over the middle here. That's exactly what I'm going to call because I'm going to make the assumption that they're going to be there. And for A.D. Davis, he may have enough time to look at it. If he doesn't see it, he can always chuck it away.
So it's safe to say that the Cincinnati offense is in rhythm right now, huh?
Absolutely. Antonio Davis is feeling himself, and that offensive line is pushing the defense back as they're starting to look tired.
What a fumble! And again, the Fire defense makes a play, as they tend to do here in the second half of ball games with the penetration, changing the line of scrimmage. And again, that's what I asked about a defense being able to be the leader of a team, Brian. And they come through and they make that big play right on cue.
And do you see it? And you talked about it. They continue to bail this offense
Bail them out
all season. They make plays. You talk about all the guys that they have out there that play both that play both sides of the ball. They're not going to let this team lose. They're going to make plays, and they're going to say, offense, we're giving it to you. Go win this thing for us.
Absolutely. And you see, and it's good leadership on the sideline, John Abner talking to Aaron Davis, giving him some keys and some things to look at. The quarterback on the offense talking to the quarterback of the defense and sharing that same set of eyes. So great leadership on the sideline by John Abner. He's not out there playing, but he's still out there contributing.
Yeah, and we interviewed him a couple weeks ago, and he expressed the sentiment to be a leader on this team. And we were worried. We have been worried through the week a little bit that he's not as vocal of a guy, but you can see him stepping up and helping out his teammates. And he may not be making the field impact, but most importantly, he's making the mental impact.
He's holding the clipboard. That's what happens when you hold the clipboard.
Exactly, and I think that's as key as throwing the football.
It is. It is. So on the keeper, Willie Beeman hit pretty hard.
A lot of bright colors out there.
Oh, yeah. And again, as I noticed, you're not wearing the same shoes that you normally wear. There was some commentary in the last practice, some words were exchanged about the shoes that you're wearing, that you need to change up the color. Is that a part of the decision, or is that just what you decided to wear today?
I can say that was in my head just a little bit, but I thought that I may be doing some post-game interviews, maybe with a full body, so I didn't want to be glowing in the dark.
This is true. Well, if you were with Willie Beeman, you guys would be brothers from another mother because they're the same color shoes. But
I don't know that I can pull off the Cam Newton headband at all.
I don't think you can. You got to be a special person. As Willie Beeman is with the handoff, they're on second down, minimal gain. That brings up a third down situation for the Fire deep in their own end. Are you passing the ball here or what, Brian? I mean, what are you doing?
Well, I hate to see him drop back and get sacked in the end zone. I'm probably going to play it a little bit safe. You have a 1-point lead. The clock's running. There's 4.5 minutes left in the third quarter.
It is.
There's no reason to take a risk here. Just go ahead and run it, punt it away. Your defense has played special for you. Maybe take as much time on the play clock as you can to give them that extra rest.
Looks like it might be a passing situation here. A tight formation. Trips to the top of the screen. He's looking left, and it's a little bit behind the receiver on that play. The clock stops. That pass was intended for Mike Tatum.
Well, and you see number 13 drop back. He's got no pressure at all. There's no reason to uncork the ball, but it is a little late as there's some miscommunication. But I'd love to see him hold on the ball a little bit longer, maybe move around and give those guys a chance to shake open.
But on that type of route, is that a sight adjustment or is that just pure timing where once I hit a certain foot, I'm just letting it go regardless of what I see?
Yeah, well, he's got no drop on it, so it's got to be just a timing throw. But the timing was off. But if you see that the guy's not open and if you're not going to make it in time,
pull it down.
You as the quarterback have to make an adjustment and try and make a play for your team. Just because you're in that situation doesn't mean that you have to uncork a wild pass.
That's true, and there wasn't any pressure. He had some room to maybe get outside the pocket, buy some time, which is when the Fire offense has been successful today.
And he's been able to keep plays alive all day, been able to break tackles. So I don't know that that's a worry. He hasn't taken a ton of hits. So in going forward, I want to see him make that play. I want to see him scramble around a little bit because he's got the ability to do it, and you have a great receiving core that will get open for you when you have time.
This is true. We'll see. It's a timeout here. After this, it was a quick timeout. The quick timeout. That's the first timeout. You got that marked down on the stats?
No TV break. I do have that timeout marked not on paper, but in thine head.
Aha. That's even better. So fourth down here for the Fire. Lined up to punt, reverse the field. It's a high, short punt. reminiscent of some of the Ohio State punters from the late 90s.
You stole a lot of shots.
Just burning them up, man. I
a
tell
lot
you.
of shots tonight.
I just
You-
remember there was.
How are you feeling about the Ohio State University? Right now, is there?
If Chris Spielman can sue them, then I can burn them. Barbecue chicken, Brian. Barbecue chicken.
But your words are not going back in their pocket as if he gets a win. That will be paying for shoulder pads, helmets, and bus trips.
Well, again, I guess I could just refer to maybe some of the older Cincinnati Bengal punters, and there were some 10-yard punts in their repertoire as well.
Well,
I'll
there's
football
also
for a
been some
long
10-yard field goal attempts as well that haven't gone so well.
Oh, gosh, yes. Particularly last season.
And we're back on Ohio
Yes, we
State
are.
with Mike Nugent. Life's a circle, Terrell.
It is.
Life is a
But
circle.
no, but
my
Mike
friend.
Nugent was a heck of a high school quarterback, right?
Yeah, absolutely. A great high school quarterback at Centerville. Well, he is. I do believe. Is he in the same grade as AJ Hawk?
I think so.
So, didn't go so well against Springfield North his senior year. Now, obviously, AJ Hawk was out that game. He missed 5 games. They lost 5 games. He played 5 games. They won all 5 games and made the playoffs. So, AJ Hawk also a point guard on the Centerville basketball team that year, too.
Short run on first down for the Cincinnati offense. It's going to be 2nd down and 8.
And the Chiefs still trying to establish that run game and set up that pass over the middle.
It's working.
I think that's exactly what their game plan is. They're going to say, hey, if you want to bring it, we're going to do it. And then as soon as you start creeping up, we're going to throw it right over your head into that evacuated space. Hopefully that conversation that Aaron Davis had with John Abner, he's able to take a little bit from that and be in the correct position.
We just looked like we were doing something. We just took a selfie.
Yeah, look like you're doing something, Eldre.
And a short pass
Wow.
again.
And-
There goes that man that we cannot let get going. Dyshawn Edwards might have picked up enough for the first down, and in fact, he did as the chains move on the reception.
Well, Chad Woodfork's in the correct position there. He's just got to make the play. So you see, he's running downhill. Once again, we talked about the position that he's playing a little bit. He's able to run downhill as Aaron Davis is the only guy deep. So he's got to be able to make that play so they're not wide open.
Tough position here as we have a player down, looks like maybe with some cramps, trying to get him stretched out. It's hot, it's muggy. Again, the rain has stayed away.
Well, it looks like there's a couple guys that have caught cramps now. I see another player struggling off the field. And it looks like that is number 19, Anthony Harris, who was a huge player for this defense. He's out there almost every play.
He is.
So, obviously, the Heat catching up with him a little bit, too. Excuse me.
But it might have been one of those phantom.
No,
cramps.
he's not that. He's not that.
Not a phantom cramp?
Anthony Harris, I can tell you, is not that kind of guy.
Big back in the backfield for Cincinnati. Darrell Riston with the blue pants on.
Are they blue or are they black? I mean, I don't know that they go with the uniform, but I like them.
It's a nice little change up.
Yeah, he's got the thin white stripe down the side.
And Riston fakes it looks right. Got a man there. Great coverage and interception. High point. And again, outstanding play from the Fire defense, particularly in the secondary. Goes up, and my man Mike Tatum making plays.
Well, and we talked about Mike Wilson with his mechanics. Antonio Davis does not step into the bucket right there, and
Thanks, AD.
You know they're playing cover 3. You know they're going to drop in cover 3.
Oh, yeah.
So that corner is going to be running with him to the end zone.
Absolutely.
There's not going to be any checkoff where safety has to come over the top.
Nope.
So you have to step into that, and luckily for the Fire, Antonio Davis for getting his mechanics at home.
And so, again, Fire defense is here to save the day, protecting that 1-point lead. A couple minutes here to go before the start of the fourth quarter. So, if the Fire offense can just get something going.
And you hate to be in this position as a coach after such a great play, but you set up on the 1-yard line for the Fire offense, and you haven't had too much success running the football tonight. So I hope they don't try and pass. I hope they try and play it safe. But I don't want to see that Fire defense back out, and it's going to be a safety. So we're once again going to see 15-14 tonight.
Oh, so again, yes, that makes the score 15-14 in favor of Cincinnati.
Wow, and that
all the praise for the offensive line, particularly.
And that is the situation where you want to see your quarterback under center. Not in a shotgun.
You do.
With the ability to snap it over his head. Your job as a coach is to limit mistakes.
Yes, it is.
To put your players in a position to succeed.
Yes.
And as tired as these guys are right now.
On defense.
With the heat, and you talk about it, you put your defense out there again.
It's only a matter of time before they break. It's only a matter of time before they give up a big play. Because it's already starting to happen just a little bit. So, yeah, but at the same time, I mean,
yeah, and
no, it's hard to say.
And this is such a New York Jets situation where you have your defense out there playing their butts off.
Yes.
And a lot of great players with great names too.
Yes.
But the offense cannot put them in the correct position to win the game. The defense can't do everything. On offense, you have to put points up. That's what your job is.
And as a defense, well, actually, as an offense, I mean, how do you feel like you're responsible for the situation, or do you feel like, hey, it's just football?
Sorry, say it again. I didn't quite hear you.
On offense, do you feel like as though you are responsible for the situation that the team is in, or do you say, hey, it's just football?
No, you have to take responsibility for this situation. I understand football is football, but your defense is out there playing their tail off, and you're putting them in awful positions all night. So, and you talk about the guys walking off with cramps already.
Yes.
You have to put Maurice Dowse out there as a rush-in. So these guys can't continue to stay out there all night. So you have to walk up to them, and and you don't even have to say it to them. You just have to look them in the eye and say, I'm going to get it the next time. And you have to go out there and you have to execute.
Absolutely. The return there by Michael Fuller, swarmed quickly by the Fire special teams. We see the defense mosey onto the field once again. Just under 2 minutes here to go before the beginning of the fourth quarter.
And you can see the body language with the Fire starting to change right now as the punt team slowly walks off the field. They all have their helmets off. You see guys walking around shaking their heads on the sideline, talking to each other. And this is the moment where you have to do the walking and not the talking.
You do.
So
you have Mike Tatum making the big play and the interception and bailing you out there.
And, yeah, so it's easy to say that we have great communication and discipline.
Yes.
When things are going right for you.
It does.
This is the time where you show your
Woo! Changing the line of scrimmage has been the moment of the day. When we were at Fire practice on Thursday, we saw the GM just going on with the defense. Hey, we want to change the line of scrimmage, and that's what they've been able to do all night.
Wow. What a play there. Just standing up that offensive guard and just being there to make the play. Ronnie Burrell.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. And that's
big Ronnie.
That's a big man right there. And he's playing that Vince Wilfork right there.
He is.
Just, I'm going to put my belly on you, and I'm not going anywhere, and I'm going to make this play with one arm.
And I'm looking at the sideline, seeing number 69, the center, Kevin Heim. He still feels terrible about that bad snap.
Yeah, well, it's not about feeling terrible. It's about going out there and making them play the next time. As the Fire, once again, you can see them running downhill. So when are the Cincinnati Chiefs going to go back to that throw over the middle again?
Marcus Allen coming on, kind of trying to keep these guys fresh, trying to give the offense another opportunity.
Well, and now the offense doesn't have the lead anymore, so they really have to execute because they got to put the ball in the end zone unless the defense is able to take one to the end zone, but then they're right back on the field. And for me, that's my worry right now, especially if I'm the Fire coaching staff. We got to get on the same page. I don't see the offense huddled up down there, so the coaching staff also has to take advantage of what's going on as well.
Secondary backs off, but a screen pass. And no good. Great defense by the Fire there.
Yeah, and Big Mike Cross laying on the field because he knew he had a chance to make a play there. Wanted to get an interception and run it back. So you see him right in the position. Oh yeah, the ball's tipped right in his hands, and he's unable to make the play. But that's
The
that's
tight end in him is upset.
yeah. Well, that's a great coaching, and that's great discipline by the defense.
Reading your
When,
keys, being on top of it.
when you've been running downhill, and you know that the screen game is always there's always the screen game in there to try and neutralize that blitz up the middle.
You're right,
But
and that's a sign when you're talking on defense. Because every time when you
Exactly.
run a screen, you want to hear screen, screen, screen. You want to hear them yelling that out, right?
Yep, and all four guys that were down there on the defensive line, they all saw it. They all had their hands up, and they made it tough for Antonio Davis to make a play. And that was third down, so that's an even bigger play as the Fire
Absolutely.
offense looks to come onto the field. And I'm going to be honest, they should have some decent field position. I want to see what John Abner's got.
Even though Willie Beeman's been making plays.
He had what plays has he made in the second half so far?
This is true. This is
And
true.
at the end of the first half, they didn't have it going either, Terrell.
That's true.
So I want to see a guy inserted that's going to show the leadership, that's going to talk to the receivers and let them know exactly what they're supposed to do. I get that I get that the talent is there, but when you don't lead,
That's true.
it's hard to help everyone else make plays.
But do you feel as though Cincinnati's made an adjustment, though, to Willie Beeman, to the things that he's doing?
I don't.
Or
I haven't. I don't see too many adjustments. They look like they're playing the same defense to me. Now maybe I need to watch a little bit closer. But he just hasn't made the plays. And you talk about that last play, and unfortunately he doesn't have a chance to get the ball that snapped over his head. But he had the
pressure
chance.
by Johnson, but fielded by Aaron Davis. He's got a crease.
Uh-oh.
Huge block coming down the sidelines. And a horse collar tackle that the officials didn't have a chance to see. But keep your head on the swivel as we watch the replay, and the huge block has the crowd going crazy. You'll see it coming to your screen right here.
And Aaron Davis sets it up perfectly.
Come.
Wow, that's John Jackson right there. You see the dreads flying all over the place as he's able to make a huge block to spring Aaron Davis for a big return and maybe some life now, Terrell, in that Fire
your
offense.
head on a swivel.
You see him. Wow, you see him, and that should and by NFL rules, I don't know that that's not an illegal block above the shoulders.
Above the shoulders.
But if the referees miss it, you can't make the call.
I think he woke up in northern Kentucky on that one.
There was a lot of rumble in here.
They call that a slobber knocker, ain't that what they call it?
Well, you talk about him having the look. He's got the look that you want. He's about 6'2", 215 pounds, and he doesn't get a chance to lay the lumber often.
He doesn't.
But he takes full advantage of it right there.
Good old Moss playing special teams. John Jackson, the prototype.
You know it's a good nickname.
He's got a couple, 2-3 catches.
I mean,
today as well.
He looked more like the Predator on that one, killing somebody.
Hey, again, and yeah, we talk to him when we go out to practice. And I call this guy Randy Moss because I don't know if you saw the picture. It was Moss. He was out working out. It looks like he can still play. Looks fantastic.
Randy Moss he's a
freak.
He's a West Virginia mountain man. He's always going to be in shape.
Cam Jackson on the end around.
Oh, wow.
And knocked out of bounds, but a flag on the play, maybe an illegal motion.
In
a
the
little
backfield. Yeah, so.
A little bit of Canadian football there
but
from the Fire offense.
But you see Coach Drew trying to get the ball in the hands of the playmakers as
Yes.
Cam Jackson makes a huge play. You see great blocking down the field by the wide receivers there as well.
Oh, yeah.
So thinking a little bit out of the box again finally. And trying
maybe
to
switching it up,
trying to get something going as they haven't had anything to hang their hat on in the last 15 minutes, the last 17 minutes of game time at least.
And we're trying to wind down the end of this third quarter. 5 seconds left, so this should be the last play here before we switch sides and go into the fourth quarter.
Having a little chain issue over there. We need to be so we're having a little clock issue.
And I tell you, Brian, like I really, first time have you ever worked the chain gang?
I have.
It'll make you hate football.
Yeah, no, I worked the chain gang a few times in college. He's not a big fan of it standing on the Wabash sideline.
Yeah,
Did you know Wabash always fights?
Really?
That's what they say.
And so there we go. As the clock runs out, that is the end of the third quarter. 15-14, just like the first game of the doubleheader ended. So we're looking for another or a different ending to this game than we saw in the first game. Great chance for the Fire offense to redeem themselves. What are we looking at here in the fourth quarter?
We're looking at the Fire offense to grasp at anything and try and get something going.
Anything,
they've got to give these guys on defense a break. And you see Cam Jackson get free there on the jet sweep. So hopefully they have a couple other things. I know Aaron Davis has played a lot of snaps on defense, but he is a guy that you may be able to spring free on another play like that, or maybe get him downfield. Maybe we haven't seen Khalid Ali in a long time, who has about 5 catches tonight for probably close to 70, 80 yards.
And again, so if you have a guy like that and they're keying on him, and that means somebody else is open?
Well, the quarterback's got to make that play. He's got to see the field. He can't lock in on one receiver.
And that quarterback should be John Abner.
I totally agree. He may not be the most mobile guy, but I think he is the best guy right now.
Trips to the top of the screen, fakes it to Dowse, looking left, got a man, and has a step, but a little bit too much air under it. And defense is able to recover.
And I don't know how many times I can tell you, Terrell, or anyone at home that's listening and watching, Michael Wilson has to step into the throw to put that on the receiver. That ball hangs up. It's almost an interception again as he lazily throws it off his back foot.
Mike Tatum had the step, right?
He absolutely, he's wide open. He has to pull that arm down. He's got to throw that backside through, and he's got to get that ball over the top of the defender and not throw it into the front of the end zone, but throw that into the back of the end zone.
Sergio Freeman with the coverage for Cincinnati. Fake to Dowse. Actually, Dowse gets it. And you're absolutely right. I mean, again, this is why you're calling for John Abner.
Because I'll say it, he's not the most mobile guy, but his mechanics are solid. He throws a great ball. He's got continuity with these guys, and that is more important than anything else. I understand the athleticism.
Yep.
I understand the playmaking.
Okay.
But the consistency's got to be there from the quarterback position. And when your guys run a great route, they bust open, you have to be able to take advantage of that, especially when you yourself haven't had anything to do for the last quarter and a half.
Receivers for the Fire, Tatum and Cam Jackson. Trips near side, rolling near side, looks back, under pressure, gets out of pressure, goes to the back of the end zone. And what are they going to call it? Did he hold on to it? Again, with the big game and the touchdown catch, Khalid Ali.
And we called for it a couple plays ago.
We did, because
we haven't seen number 17 in a while. But you do see Mike Wilson there with some awareness, some guys calling out to him, letting him know there's some guys behind him.
And they got to hurry up and get this next play run. Don't let them talk about it.
Okay, well,
run special teams on. Don't let them talk about it. They don't have replay. Run the next play. He caught it.
Here we go. The semi and the pro right here.
That's an incomplete pass, guys, because again, it looks there at the end.
We're gonna get a good look at it here.
Watch right there. Oh, there's a penalty. There's
Mike
a flag.
Wilson is able. Okay.
And
that's definitely a complete pass.
But did he use the ground to make the catch there?
Well, from that angle that we have, I can't tell, but I definitely know his foot was down.
I think his wave was waved off. It looks like a holding penalty, so it doesn't even matter.
So that makes me feel a little bit better. Well, it doesn't.
But it's all about how you feel, Brian. It's all about how you feel. That's what we're here for.
That is exactly what we're here for.
Okay.
But Mike Wilson, he throws off one foot there, and I wish, and I get that's the play that he's got to make, and he shows a lot of arm strength. But when he's throwing those deep balls, he's still throwing off his back foot.
Willie Beeman rolls right, looking at the end zone in the double coverage, has him again. Oh wow!
Oh my
God!
A play
that was even better than the first one. Khalid Ali making plays out here, everybody. Khalid Ali is out here making plays.
And, hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they got the right gunslinger in there because you see Wilson take a lot of risk running out of bounds, throwing across his body.
In the double coverage.
In the double coverage.
Don't matter. Throw it up, dog.
Triple coverage nearly.
Throw it up, dog.
We get another look. You see two guys chase him down, and he takes a huge shot, but he's man enough to stay in there, and Khalid Ali.
And John Abner can't make that play.
No, he cannot. He most certainly cannot. And Khalid Ali rewarding his guy who was willing to take the shot right in the face with a all-time catch right there.
Oh, yeah.
An all-time catch.
Oh, yeah. Heck of a play. That makes it 20-15.
We will have to cut that tonight and send that to SportsCenter tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Because that's one of the best catches you're going to see.
Oh, yeah.
Ever.
Anywhere. Heck of a play. Double coverage. Going back against the grain. Over the wrong shoulder. And this is the extra point, trying to make it 21-15 and going for two, actually. So trying to make it 22 and
a fumbled
shooting yourself in the foot.
Yep. Well, and I get what you're doing there. You're trying to go up. You're trying to go up by 7, so that if they do score, you're not in the wrong position, and also a couple field goals don't hurt you either, as well. But
are you really worried about Cincinnati kicking a field goal? You saw that last extra point.
Well, and you never know what can happen come the end of the game. You never know what can happen. It only takes one, Terrell. It only takes one.
Like Joaquin Andujar said, you never know.
Yeah. So, but the Fire offense alive and well.
Apparently,
they are back from the dead.
Because they were dead.
And I'll tell you what, the most important part of that is that you give a boost of attitude to that defense, who now once again is able to pin their ears back and try and get in that backfield and stop Antonio Davis.
This is true. I will say this, though. Cincinnati's ready for the fourth quarter as well, and so it's going to take a special effort to try to keep these guys out of the end zone here, because they realize, hey, this is their season right here.
Yeah, this is the season on the line. They did have to win both games to get into the playoffs today.
Mm-hmm.
So they're down 20-15, so we're off that 14-15.
We are.
So
we are.
Anything can happen from this point.
Joaquin Andujar, you never know. Crowd loving it. Kids out here having a good old time. Probably full of ribs. Come down from the Rib Fest in downtown Columbus today.
Oh, don't make me too hungry now, Terrell.
I'm ready.
Don't make me too
like
hungry.
Some brisket or something like that. A deep kickoff.
If anyone is listening at the Jabs
the
Jabs
bring some brisket, bro.
Please stop by and see us.
With the crease and some space to run, showing that sense of desperation. Dre Reap made a few big plays for Cincinnati.
Wow, and he throws the ball at number 55
at Marcus Allen
for the Fire, and the officials do nothing with one standing right there.
And again,
and you see terrible coverage for the Fire, wide open gaps. He makes one man miss, a great move, but he didn't have to break away from anyone else. He had nobody around him.
I was trying to see on that replay where he throws the ball at Marcus Allen.
It's really easy to go 50 yards when no one's trying to tackle you.
It is. But again, they're playing for their season. It's the fourth quarter. They have 13 and a half minutes to go in their season if they don't win this football game. So it's going to be a sense of urgency. The Fire defense has a chance to step up and really shut them down, give the ball back to the offense. So here we go. First down and 10.
And
Cincinnati.
Yeah, and you hope that complacency doesn't creep into the mind of the Columbus Fire, even though they're already in the playoffs.
One safety deep, another fumble in the backfield. Once again, blowing things up. You see, look, hey,
wow.
Big Mike Cross right in the middle of everything, like he always is.
And Big Ronnie Burrell in there again.
Big old Ronnie.
He's had a great last quarter. As you see, well, it is a mishandled snap there by Antonio Davis, but they're all in there ready to hop on the football. As you talked about them blitzing again, and it pays off for them once again. Everybody in the backfield quickly when no one in front of the ball knows what's happening.
And congratulations abound on the sideline. Big play, but a long way to go here with a 5-point lead in the fourth quarter from Huffaker Community Sports Complex in lovely Grove City, Ohio, located just south of Columbus.
Well, and a lot of buzz on the Fire sideline.
Oh, yeah.
I see some smiles. I see a lot of handshakes.
Oh, yeah.
Dap, as they say today.
Oh, Sports Kels has hit the sideline, so she is the extra motivating factor here in the fourth quarter to push the Fire over the top. Fake handoff on the end around. Heck of a play. We haven't seen that play, have we?
No, we did see that play. That's the last time they fumbled and turned it over the last time they ran
They
that.
tried to run that.
Yeah. So able to clean it up that time, but still not as clean as you'd like to see it, as Maurice Dowse has to wait a little long to get the handoff, and the defense able to get in the backfield as the play did take a long time to develop.
2nd down and 8 for the Fire offense. As the clock continues to run, tick, 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 tick,
Tick, tick, tick, tick, tick, tick, tick, tick, tick, tick, tick, tick, tick, tick.
Stall him out. Stall him out, Craig.
Well, and
That's what we got to do.
and I'll tell you what, we mentioned Boomer there with the tick, 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 and the Fire looking to circle the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
And Willie Beeman, a rumbling, stumbling, and a bumbling, might have been able to pick up enough for the first down on that 2nd down quarterback keeper. Those read option plays, right?
Well, and you get the extra blocker there with the running back that doesn't have to hand it off. Maurice Dowse making a great block in there on the linebacker who had free space to get to the quarterback. And we talked about the athleticism that number 13 possesses and the added element to the offense with the read option that John Abner doesn't give you. So he's stepping up finally in the second half to make some plays for the Fire offense.
And as you saw at the end of that last replay, Willie Beeman able to fall forward, and that was good enough for a first down. Fire offense is in business, tight end in motion, tight formation, a little bit of movement up front. Looks like encroachment on the defense, jumping a little bit early.
So Cincinnati now on their heels.
Oh, yeah.
Columbus Fire trying to run it down their throat.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're a Columbus Fire fan, you're feeling really good about yourself right now as they are able to gain the momentum.
And this is where you see, the character of your team in the fourth quarter. It's the end of the season.
You haven't said any more truthful in your life. Maybe you have. I don't know. You're looking
I'm trying.
At me.
I don't know.
You're looking at me like you have.
Well, all my statements about Ohio State have been true, so I believe you, Brian. Twins, near side.
No, we had a false start.
Aha.
That's a bad call. That is a
15,
bad call.
Wide open, up the middle. Maurice Dowse has the step, has a man to beat. Can he make it to the end zone? What's the call from the official? Touchdown, Fire!
And you see a huge hole open up on that left side for Maurice Dowse to blow right through. As the penalty no longer matters at this point, you see him bust right up the middle. There's no defenders in the picture within 5 yards of him, and he's got enough speed just to beat the defensive back to the pylon and put another 6 on the board for the Fire as they're rolling.
That's exactly what the crowd came here to see, is execution on offense. And again, so now if you're the defense, you got to feel great, right?
Yeah, the Fire is burning.
Woo! Shake and bake.
But yeah, the defense has to feel great. Every point that goes up on that board, that's a little more oxygen that they're getting in the old bloodstream.
It's like your Michigan butt cushion. It's a little bit more
I saw
cushion.
that guy right there. He's got one. He's got a Michigan butt cushion. Shout out to him with the UC hat, though. He's got the Michigan butt cushion. I forgot it.
I can't hate on him. Yeah, if he's got the UC hat on, he's my guy.
Yeah, so we are standing now, as these chairs are not the most comfortable sort, but I'm feeling a lot better now that the Fire offense is rolling along. And
the extra point is good, but laundry on the field, some extracurricular activity after the play.
Well, and the Cincinnati Fire is starting to get in their feelings again as they are now behind big.
They do tend to get in their feelings. So maybe, and then we talked at halftime about, who didn't have the ability to, didn't have the self-control, who was doing too much of the talking. Maybe it was more a little bit on Cincinnati's part and them being more of the instigators when it came to the talking.
Yeah, but at the same time, the Columbus Fire have to continue to stay cool and calm. There's a lot of time left, 11:20.
That's true.
So
long way to go.
They're only 12 points up.
Only, and you say only, and it sounds yes, that's a very accurate representation of the situation. And the Fire defense definitely has to be cognizant of that.
Absolutely, and they have been maybe the calmer heads of the Fire team today.
Undoubtedly the calmer heads.
But at the same time, they do have a few guys that have been known to blow their top. So hopefully they're able to keep it calm and we talked about it when they're down, they have shown that they did have the mental capacity to go ahead and keep their head in the game. But this is that situation where you learn who you really are up late in the game, and you can't get complacent again.
You do.
You got
I
to
really think it's Sports Kels. I think she's the lucky charm on the sideline. I think she's the one that got the offense fired up.
She may be the one with her foot on the gas.
She's very inspirational.
And if that's what's working, Sports Kels, please stay down there.
That's right. So awaiting the kickoff here. Back deep for Cincinnati. Number 6, Dre Reed.
The short kick.
Short kick.
Oh, David King unable to make a play.
Who touched it first? Okay, David King unable to make it, but looks like we might have touched it first, but the officials didn't see it.
Well, no, in that situation, you're allowed a free catch.
Okay.
That's I don't know that that's a rule at all where you're not allowed to touch it. I think you may be thinking
the kicking team can touch it first?
Yeah, not in. I mean,
what's
not
the NFL rules?
Well, I'd have to look at the rule book, but
Okay.
I have seen people on the end of the onside kick catch the football in the
That's
air.
true. Yeah, you can. That's true. That is true.
Now rules change every day, but
I don't think that rule's changed. We'll have to look at the competition committee and see what they came up with. At any rate, 27-15 here. Heck of a run by Maurice Dowse right up the middle. Can the Cincinnati offense respond? Their backs are against the wall, and this Fire defense is playing outstanding. You see big Mike Cross anchoring that line in the middle. Those big boys up front been changing the line of scrimmage. One safety deep again for the Fire defense.
And too much
Got a
time.
man deep. And excellent position once again.
Wow.
And able to dive and break it up. It's Anthony Harris.
Yeah.
He's been doing a heck of a job in the slot all night for the Fire defense.
Yeah, and Aaron Davis able to come over and make the hit, too, to make sure that the wide receiver doesn't have a chance to make a play as well. So he's showing up right now, not cheating there. He's got the speed to go over there and run it, so I don't think that he needs to cheat. But, yeah, Anthony Harris making a great play, who, as always, is one of the leaders of this team, and he's willing to step up and be in position. You talk about them continuing that cover 3, and you see it working.
You do. Now, one thing to know, Harris was a little bit shaken up on that play, and Rayshawn Maxwell on to replace him. So we'll see if Cincinnati can recognize maybe a little bit of a mismatch, or how can the Fire defense adjust with a substitute in there. One safety deep, Aaron Davis back, shotgun snap, looking right, short throw, catch, short of the first down, but has some room into the secondary, has a block, making plays, stiff arm, but forced out of bounds after a huge gain. Paul Jones, first time we're calling his name tonight. Heck of a play by Paul Jones.
Yeah. And that play right there is one of the detriments of the cover 3. When you give up a play that's in the flat and you miss the tackle, and if you have guys running deep, you're not going to have anyone there to make it after that. So you're going to have at least a first down. And you see him with a big play, about 50 yards on the reception, on the yards after the catch. You got to be able to make those plays in the flat. In cover 3, you're really relying on that guy to make it. They have tonight, but on that one, not able to corral him.
So the defensive backfield for the Fire, Jordan Marshall playing one-on-one here near side. Drops back and looks into the end zone, looking at Marshall, who has position, trying to make a play on the ball. Incomplete. The intended receiver on the play was Dre Reed.
Well,
or correction, Derek Shearer with the intended receiver on that play.
And we finally get to mention Jordan Marshall again.
We do.
And I'll tell you what, as a cornerback, that is the best thing that you can do, not have your name mentioned all night, because they will not throw it your way. And Jordan Marshall asked to step up into that number 1 spot today, and
he's done a pretty good job.
Has he shined like a number 23 in Ohio, huh?
Oh, yeah. Well, hopefully Willie Beeman doesn't demand a trade, because he's playing with that number 23 in Ohio.
Well, technically, it's going to be Chad Woodfork that's going for the trade, and he's looked more like the second fiddle here tonight as the Kyrie Irving making a ton of plays on defense.
Second down for Cincinnati. Looking right, looking to the end zone, has a man, but a heck of a play.
Wow.
Way to break it up. Once again, out on an island in that cover 3.
Yeah.
Understanding where your safety is and trusting them.
Yep, and that's And that's Mike Tatum knowing exactly what his job is in the cover 3 as Antonio Davis tries to look the safety Aaron Davis off to try and open up a little bit of space, and it does
It's not
work.
going to work this time.
But Mike Tatum knows exactly what his job is in cover 3, and all he's got to do is bat the ball down. He nearly makes the interception, but that's good enough to work right there.
So that brings up a big 3rd down and 10.
And I'll tell you,
Are Cincinnati in field goal range right here or what?
they're definitely not in field goal range from the few field goal attempts that we've seen tonight. But I'll tell you what, it looks like Mike Tatum did pick up a little bit of a nick. Maybe he's cramping now. So if Antonio Davis does decide to go that way, that'll be a very interesting matchup for a person. Well, not anymore because there's someone wearing 00 that he's guarding.
So he's a non-factor.
I would always say the person wearing 00 is a non-factor.
Screen pass and blown up. Reading the keys and
A terrible
oh my
penalty.
goodness. I don't understand why they're making this call here. Because if he would have caught the ball, what is he supposed to do?
He would have been down on the ground and he would have totally missed him. That's an awful
And we watched
call.
on the replay.
That's not
That
late
was
at
one
all.
step.
That's not late at all.
His job as a defender is to separate the receiver from the ball, right?
And you have to give him the ability to make a play. You can't say, "Oh, well, the ball's incomplete. You got no chance." You got to give some leeway as an official. That's a terrible call. I get that he's a defenseless receiver, but he didn't hit him high. He hit him square in the back.
I don't know what else he could have done on the play. To be honest, I don't know what he was supposed to do.
Shake his hand and dust off his butt.
Or just hold him up.
Then help him.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me hold you up so you can make the catch.
Maybe catch it and give it to him. Maybe that's what he's supposed to do. Maybe he's supposed to catch it and give it to him, Terrell.
Nonetheless, 1st down and 10. So Cincinnati can get a 1st down without scoring a touchdown here. Shotgun formation. Hand up, right up the middle. Hand off, rather.
Hand up. I mean, he ran up. So what's the difference?
3-yard gain.
Well,
by good old Tyrone Berry Jr. III.
And what I'm wondering is when are all these snaps going to start to take their toll on the Fire defense, especially that defensive line, who has played incredible tonight. They've played incredible defense.
That's true.
They've been everywhere, but they've been on the field so much. You're starting to see them put their hands on their hips a little bit, and hopefully they're not starting to take that toll with 9 minutes left to go in the game.
2nd down and 5 for Cincinnati here. Another handoff to Berry up the middle and stuffed once again after a few-yard gain. A new Fire defender, Keontae Bronson. He's been in there playing linebacker. He normally plays defensive back, but he's in there mixing it up, number 39.
Yeah, and you see them get some good pressure there off the edge, and able to force that back into the middle and make a play up the middle. So you know
Looks
that
like
they're
Big
going to.
Boy's down. Well, is he down just trying to get some rest, or is he down and can't get up?
Well, I believe that
He's
is
falling and he can't get up.
Looks like number 91.
Big 91.
Yep. So that's Big Ronnie Burrow, who's
Big old Ronnie,
who's had a long night tonight.
Yeah,
and he's
you asked about it, like when is he going to start taking his toll? Big old Ronnie.
And he's put in a great shift, but bodies don't hold up forever, especially when you're talking about this type of humidity.
And looks like Big Ronnie's getting off under his own power, so he'll be just fine.
So, and that's the thing when you talk about semi-pro leagues, they don't have all the advantages of having the training staff and all the ice and IVs at halftime. And
all the fantastic drugs that they have in the NFL.
Well, and two, if you look down at the table right there, you see one water jug turned over, you see one with the top off, and there's a very small one that may have some water in it, but
that's a detriment, and that's going to have a direct effect on the play on the field.
Exactly, and as we move into August, you know how August football can be when it comes camp time. For everybody else, it only gets hotter. So we're having a little bit of a clock issue.
And 2nd down and 3. Once again, Cincinnati can score or can get a 1st down without scoring. Low snap, keeps it, runs it up the middle. The first keep for A.D. Davis tonight. Really hasn't shown
an affinity to run.
No.
I think he's just strictly a pocket passer. You see him sit back there in the pocket. He looks pretty comfortable. He hasn't really tried to move around too much. And
He's a lot like me. That's the reason I didn't play offense is because I don't like getting hit. I want to do the hitting. So, yeah, I feel him on that one. I don't like getting hit.
Well, he's not the biggest body out there either. But you got to do what you got to do sometimes, you know. You got to put it on the line for the team as we see Ronnie Burrow able to make it back out there. So
now, playing football, did you play offense or defense?
I played both, mostly just wide receiver, though.
Okay. So how did you because I feel like if I'm getting hit all day, I don't understand how players don't get mad because I want players I want to hit them all day so they hate me at the end of the day.
Well, wide receiver, you don't get hit all day.
That's true.
So that's the good thing. if you're playing wide receiver and getting hit all day, you're playing the wrong offense, in my opinion.
This is true. High snap, handoff inside, and an easy walk-in touchdown for Tyrone L. Berry, Jr. the third.
Well, and you didn't get a lot of push there from the Fire defense as we get another look at it. You can see him starting to wear down. A few guys have had to come off the field. And
it's a lot of substitutes out there on defense.
You can see the toll starting to take. So hopefully this offensive run game is ready to go and hold on to some possession for them and give them the breather and the time that they need to regain themselves.
So really right now, I'm looking on the sideline at Kevin Heim, our big center. A lot of this coming down in the last 7 minutes here in this game, I think is on the offensive line.
Yeah, especially when you're talking about being in the shotgun with the ability to snap when you name the snapper or the center, excuse me.
He's out there making the calls, right?
He is, and I just mentioned it. They have to get time for this defense to rest. They have to make some plays. They have
Two-point
to
conversion,
have some possession.
Looking for Dion.
And that was
or
too easy.
Rather, not Dion. I'm trying to call him Dre Reed.
Yeah, and
good for the two-point conversion.
And you see Jordan Marshall out there. He didn't have the same step that he's had all night as he easily gets beat. As it's a simple route to the left.
That flag route.
Yeah. I didn't see any particular moves put on by the wide receiver, so maybe that heat and exhaustion is starting to get to number 23 as well, as we can see it.
So again, it's been a better performance by the offense of late the last few possessions, but is it too little too late?
I don't think it's too little too late. They're only down 4 points. You have 7 minutes and 45 seconds. The Fire defense is starting to slow down, and excluding that last drive where they were gifted great field position, you haven't seen them do a lot.
Do you anticipate how many more possessions do you anticipate Cincinnati having in this last 7 minutes and 45 seconds?
It's truly going to depend on what number 13 does and number 6 does for the offense, but I could see them easily having at least 3 more possessions in them.
That's bad news for the Fire.
Absolutely, it's bad news when you talk about more and more snaps and more rotation on defense. So you get a little bit of confusion because you don't have the consistent guys out there that are used to playing in certain spots.
That's true. At any rate, 27-23 in favor of the Fire, trying to hold on here at home to end the season versus Cincinnati.
Well, and you know, with the playoffs coming up, these are those moments that you have to experience as well to know exactly what kind of team you have going in.
And that kick goes out of bounds in a legal procedure. They elect to accept the penalty. It'll be a re-kick. Backed up 5 yards.
So, this is great. This is great news for that Fire offense.
Oh, yeah, better field position.
Exactly, and they don't have to worry about being close to the goal line either, or about what's going to happen if they do have to punt. Should they have a 3rd and 3, or a 3 and out? My gosh, maybe the heat's getting to me too, Terrell.
A little bit, and again, so if it's getting to us and we're just standing up here running our mouths, imagine how the players feel down there on the field.
Yeah, and I see Mike Wilson walking around there. He looks a little stiff. Hopefully that's not the case, that he's starting to feel the effects either. But you asked me about it, and I do believe that Cincinnati's got at least a few more possessions in them, unless the Fire are able to run an 8-minute offense, which you don't see too much these days.
You don't.
Unless you're watching Hilliard-Davidson or Centerville football.
That's right. Shout out to Hilliard-Davidson. Passed the ball 8 times in a season.
And and that's the offense as a wide receiver that you don't want to play in.
That you don't want to play in.
Unless you have 8 touchdowns.
But again, the play action has to be phenomenal.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Hilliard Davidson has a great program. They have for the last 12 years now, a couple of state titles. Not a ton of great college football players, but
0 actually.
a ton of great high school football. But they're not putting out the Calvin Johnsons of the world that happen to play, or Demaryius Thomas that play in those option offenses. So,
and as they discuss things and do a couple different things,
Durka Blocka.
I wanted to ask you because the Detroit Lions, speaking of Calvin Johnson and Megatron, the Detroit Lions recently have hired Barry Sanders in a PR role to maybe try to get back into the good graces of Calvin Johnson. What do you think about that?
Well, Calvin Johnson has said that he wants to play for the Oakland Raiders.
Yes,
he was at Oakland Raiders practice as well.
Wow. And again, so when Megatron decided to retire, what was your thought on whether he was serious about it?
Well, he's not a guy that comes out in the media very often, so I knew that immediately it was a serious point that he was trying to get across, that he doesn't want to play for that organization again. He doesn't want to continue to lose. He's had a great career. He is a Hall of Famer. Personally, he doesn't have anything to prove. So it's just for him all about getting that championship, and he's hoping that Oakland's the place.
Handoff up the middle to Dowse. Shakes and bakes, and correction. Renoir Thomas shaking and baking. And enough for the first down. Moving the chains. Way to come out.
Mm-hmm.
First play of the drive.
And this is the time where Mike Wilson has to eat all that play clock. He better be snapping this with at least 1 or 2 seconds left on it. You see them being very deliberate going into the huddle, standing around a little bit. So hopefully Coach Drew did communicate that to him, that we want to eat as much clock as possible, as that's a great start to the drive on the ground.
First down and 10 from their own 45-yard line. Shotgun formation, Twins near side. Everybody gets back on defense. Another handoff.
Wow, what a move by the big fella.
Thomas with the sweet feet. Heck of a jump cut. I can't wait to see the replay on this one, Brian.
The big fella. I'll tell you what, he showed us the spin earlier. He shows us the jump cut right there. Look at that. Defender needs to go back there and pick up his pants. What a great play.
And,
he gets a huge 6 to 7 yard gain, and the clock's still moving, and
this is what you want.
Yeah, the Fire offense very deliberate here, eating up that clock. So Coach Drew's got to be very excited with how this drive started, but they have to continue to show the discipline, not jump off sides, and also not get any holding penalties.
See big right tackle number 75, Matt Neal, in a 2-point stance. Shotgun snap. A fumble.
There it is.
And nobody knows where the ball is.
And no one's
recovered
touched
by
him down
Cincinnati.
yet.
Fumble is recovered by Rick Saunders.
But there is going to be a penalty on Cincinnati for a defender taking his helmet off on the field during play, and that's just a knucklehead play to put your team in bad field position. Well, in not horrible field position, but you get a huge turnover like that, and you bungle it up.
What happened there, Brian? What happened?
So, and you talk about them being in the shotgun and not having a ton of handoff time in practice.
That's true.
So, I haven't gotten a replay of it yet, but
from what I could see, it looked as though
I'm not sure if Mike Wilson thought that he was keeping that.
Well, he just tried to wait maybe just a little bit too long.
Mm-hmm.
And then Thomas held on to it. He grabbed onto it, and so it was just – it's hard to say. It looks as though mistakes were made on that one. It's hard to say.
Yeah, and we talked about it earlier. If you're going to – and coaches talk about it a ton today. If you're going to be running the football, why are you snapping out of the shotgun? If that is your deliberate action, why are you running shotgun plays? You give yourself 2 chances to fumble it.
That's true.
You give yourself 3. You can have a bad snap. You can have a bad handoff, and the quarterback could drop the football. And I understand if you're under center, you can fumble that too. but there's a
You
lot
can.
less going into it. He's right underneath the center.
And you have a better chance to recover if you're under center.
Exactly, because you have the quarterback going right in that position. You have the running back running up to take the handoff as well. So you have two guys at least in that position if you don't have a fullback there as well.
So after that unfortunate fumble, a first down for Cincinnati. Twins near side. One safety deep for the Fire defense. Drops back and looks right unexpectedly. Intercepted once again. The only person who was expecting it was Cam Jackson.
And we talk about mechanics again. I mean, this is obviously a terrible throw into bad coverage, but Antonio Davis gets scared with somebody in his face, doesn't step up, and throws the ball high in a jump ball situation. And I like Cam Jackson's chances in that every time.
Absolutely. He read that all the way. The receiver wasn't even ready to do anything. More laundry on the field.
Oh gosh, here we go.
Extracurricular activities.
And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this is the leadership that I'm talking about right there. You got your quarterback running on the field without his helmet on, talking to the officials, and he gets a penalty right after an interception.
The emotion, I guess it's the emotional control, right?
And that's and we talk about it. Yes, he's made great athletic plays. He really has looked good tonight in certain situations, but that is the moment where you have to lead this team. You're up by 4 points with 6 minutes left to go in the game.
It's a delicate lead.
The playoffs are on the line, Terrell.
They are.
And I know for a fact that is a situation that John Abner does not get himself into. Regardless, he's not going to make that touchdown throw. I understand that, but you need a leader on the field. You need a general. That's what your quarterback is supposed to do.
So here we are. First down and 10, a little bit of movement up front. Officials don't see it. Willie Beeman stumbles ahead for about 5 yards. So better exchange on that read option.
And there after the play, I hate to mention it, but there after the play, smacking the defender on the helmet, talking a little trash, just get your butt back in the huddle and
Yes.
get your team ready for the next play.
So 5 minutes to go in the game, nursing a very delicate 4-point lead. Again, you see right there in your picture, Khalid Ali been making big plays all game, a touchdown, 5 catches, over 100 yards today. So he's been outstanding.
You have been keeping stats.
I have.
How many timeouts are there?
Ooh.
And you see the knuckleheadness of a team that is down with one player out there swimming and doing snow angels and flopping after the Fire offense shoots themselves in the foot by jumping off sides.
Still second down and 10. So that run by Willie Beeman is negated by the false start. 4 wide receivers. Beeman on the keep. He's still going. He's a load.
And he's quick. I'll tell you what, for a big man, he is quick.
He is.
And I mean, that's a great. I mean, I can't say anything. That's a great play. He should have been tackled twice. Look at him move. Look at him move. Look at him break that tackle. He may be the bus in this situation.
Yes. The hefty righty. Willie Beeman.
And you see him just bounce right off the defender. And you give him a lot of credit for the toughness that he's shown with the physicality in the run game. But we got to get some of that other stuff here, too.
3rd down and 5 for the Fire. Looks like a passing situation. Trips to the near side. Beeman drops back, throws to the sideline. Unable to come up with the catch was Ali. And the coaching staff is here for the Fire is going to elect to punt the football.
Yeah, well, that's a good throw. Let him just a little too much. Ali's got both hands on the football. I know it's fully extended right at the sideline. It's a tough catch, but you like to see him pull that in.
He definitely had a chance to catch the ball. It would have been close in terms of where the spot was, whether or not he got a first down. At any rate,
See, number 17 getting another shot, 4 points down. So it should be very interesting to see if that Fire defense is still ready to go, as they have gotten a pretty decent break here, but still worry about some of that exhaustion.
Good snap.
As we
Low line drive punt, but should create some good field position if they're able to corral him. It was a block, maybe in the back,
That's
blindside late.
definitely a clip. Well, and the official standing right there totally missed a clip, but it didn't look like the Fire punt team was also ready for the punt as well. As you see, David King and some of the other guys getting a late start downfield, and they've got to stay in their lanes there at the end. You can't let a guy with a bouncing ball juke you out when he's not even touched it yet.
This is true. And he fills the ball inside his own 10, which generally, as a kick returner, you probably should not do.
But able to turn into a decent gain out to the 21-yard line.
3 minutes and 37 seconds left. That is the correct amount of time left in the game. And so right now, once again, and as you said, you kind of said it would come down to this. The defense has to make some plays.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the lion's share of the load has been on their back all night. But when you're the man, you got to step up to the plate, and hopefully they're able to do that here and get the win to go firing
Hi-yo!
into the playoffs.
You'll be here all night, like we said.
I will be here for at least another 3 minutes and 30 seconds of game time, as I said.
Cover 3 defense from the Fire defense. Looks right. Great play. Tipped.
Wow.
Still on his feet. More than enough for a first down. Poor tackle attempt. And this is that guy again. 2 big catches for Paul Jones today.
Yeah, and you see Mike Tatum miss the tackle there and also come up with an injury, as we talked about. He had caught a cramp in his left leg, and he gets spun around a little bit. But you give a lot of credit to number 10, keeping the play alive, spinning around, a good stiff arm on Aaron Davis. And the Chiefs are in great position here with 3 minutes left on the other side of the field now. And you start to worry about that Fire defense intensity as the breath starts to get shorter, the muscles start to get tighter.
This is true. You see all the water buckets all the way on the sideline. Everything's exhausted over there.
Mm-hmm. And this is the first time number 32, Yannick Kusix, has jumped into the game, and he's out at free safety.
Which is a smart move because, again, Aaron Davis, he's only one man.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing both ways. And so you got to have somebody else. You got to play with the entire defense. And Yannick Kusix contributing in there. He was able to make the play and come over and.
Yeah, and I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout-out to Mike Tatum there, who is a little slow to get back to the huddle, but he's been playing cover 3 all night, and he does come up limping a little bit, but I'll tell you what, during that play, he's in perfect position to keep the receiver from scoring a touchdown.
2nd down and 10 here for Cincinnati. Come out in their customary shotgun formation. It's been kind of the same looks all night, just in terms of the pre-snap looks. You just got to determine what they're going to do after the snap.
And I think you get that a lot in this league. You see a lot of teams running the 4 wide out of the shotgun with 1 running back.
A.D. Davis looks left, has a receiver, and complete. Deontay Riley on the reception. But a penalty on the play, and that play's going to be taken away now.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you see Davis with plenty of time as the defense is sitting back in that zone as they have been all night. And if you give the quarterback a lot of time, you're playing zone, those wide receivers will find the windows.
They will. Those windows, there they are again.
But lucky enough, a penalty as the Chiefs continue to move themselves backwards. There's a lot of yellow on the field all night.
And with just only being down by 4, a couple minutes left in the game, this is a crucial time for the Fire defense because making a stop here is basically going to end the game in theory.
Yeah, well, I know that there are at least 2 timeouts for the Chiefs. So they would have a chance to stop the clock a few times and get the ball back. Hopefully the Fire are able to get some quick runs in and maybe pick up that first down to salt the game away.
Second down and 24, Cincinnati. Davis drops back, has a receiver, but throws it behind Dyshawn Edwards. On the coverage, Johnny on the spot once again, Trayvon Chavis for the Fire.
Yeah, and I see Rayshawn Moore really stepping up on this play. As you can see him get inside, he's got a great fake inside. He definitely gets held there, but I know that Antonio Davis can feel him a little bit on his left side.
So third down and an eternity for Cincinnati. Passing down here?
I believe that they may pass it.
Is it 4 down territory?
It's obviously 4 down territory. There's 2 minutes and 14 seconds. They're down by 14. A couple timeouts left as well. They cannot afford to punt the ball away, as in situations they haven't stopped the run so well in the second half. So they're going to have to throw it. And I'll tell you what, those defensive ends know they get to pin their ears back and have a little fun.
And the coaching staff realizes how big of a play this is here. And Cincinnati coach staff called a timeout. Got to get something good in here because, again, you said 4 down territory. And even, are you looking to get it all here? Are you looking to get some here? What are you looking for?
Well, the first thing I'm looking for is Donovan McNabb against the Packers. So go ahead and get me this 3rd and 20. So you have to, and we talked about them playing the zone that cover 3 all night, so you have to stretch that back in. And I assume send someone deep over the middle as well, and that's where you're going to be looking to throw the football.
You're the Fire defense here, and you're in the defensive huddle. Are you telling your guys, hey, look, understand this is 4 down territory, right? I mean, you got to let them know. You got to keep them aware of the situation.
Yeah.
Because they're a little bit dehydrated, so they might not be thinking as clearly as you would imagine.
Yeah, well, and you got to, definitely you have to say that to be ready for the next play as well. Especially, even if there is a short completion, because Cincinnati could be telling Cincinnati coaches could be telling their team, hey, we're going to go no huddle and catch them off balance as well. So Cincinnati has to not only be playing this play, but they also have to be thinking about the next play too, especially with a new safety out there who hasn't had too many snaps tonight.
Absolutely. So I hope Cincinnati doesn't notice that. Davis drops back once again. He's looking right. He's scrambling, pointing something out, trying to stay behind the line of scrimmage. Makes the pass and caught.
Oh, my gosh.
Heck of a play. Way to keep things alive. The Fire defense had to play defense for a long time on that play.
And you see this. You see him pointing it out. And he's able to stop and set his feet and step right into the throw and over one defender in front of the other. And that's a great, great play by Antonio Davis. As the scramble drill, we saw it earlier, but with Columbus having a little bit of tired legs, they're not as fast as they were earlier in the game to stay glued to those
the blitz
receivers.
On that?
Well, you saw some early pressure, but the defensive end gets a little too far upfield and
loses contained.
Yeah, and Davis is able to flush to the right and have plenty of time with no blitz. So I know we talked about him not having the athleticism, maybe, but you see him able to move his feet on there and make the
He sure
play.
did. He sure did. But he runs to buy time rather than runs to scramble.
And I'll tell you what, a lot of great quarterbacks are that way as well.
So again, it's all coming down to the Fire defense. 2 minutes to go. Up by 4. In the danger zone. Can the Fire defense step up and make another play and save this game?
They've got to catch that third one. I know they're way past the second.
Oh, yeah.
Coming out of the 2-minute warning, they do get a little break.
This is it, though. You got to leave it all out there. 2 minutes left. Hang up the middle. Again, that big Fire defensive line controlling things up front with penetration and limiting that run to just a few. It's second down and goal for Cincinnati here. Only down by 4, less than 2 minutes to go, and the clock continues to run.
Yeah, well, and you know what's on the other side of that goal line for Cincinnati? It's the playoffs.
Playoffs?
So they are very determined to get this ball in the end zone to continue their season as well and hopefully play for a championship.
Trips near side, man-to-man coverage for The Fire defense on the outside, another handoff to your boy
Oh, and the
Tyrone
ball's on the
Berry,
ground.
and a fumble. Looks like it might have been late. The official on the far side is ruling his knee down. It did appear that he was already down before the ball came loose, but we'll see what the call is on the field.
And it's going to be a hold. I didn't quite pick it up.
But you see there, opportunistic defense still believes, hey,
Yeah.
we can win this game. And they've been doing it all game. They definitely have the confidence to do so.
And they got to be the ones to win it at this point. It's all on their shoulders right now. The clock ticking down almost under a minute here. They have to make a play.
Tick, 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 tick. Shotgun for Davis. Davis looks left. He's looking into the end zone, but perfect position. A face guard. And they're at the end. What is the official call? They're calling it a catch. The near side official calling it a catch. And the far side official, let's look at the replay.
Let's look at the replay. And Davis with a great throw, really, and not bad coverage. Can't get
a little bit of an obstructive view, so.
Can't get a great look at it there. But his feet were definitely in the end zone. He was bobbling it, but it looked like he may have secured it before his butt hit the ground.
I don't think it was a catch, Brian.
And it's hard for us to say at this point. Well, now the Fire have to regroup. There's 48 seconds left, Terrell. So very interesting to see what they're able to do on the offense.
I'm not sure he got 2 feet down.
No, you only have to have one.
It's NFL rules.
I've seen 1 foot down called a touchdown in this league. That's all that I'm saying.
Well, all righty then.
So they pick and choose what rules they like
they
and
do.
what they don't. So
wow. Because, again, if it's NFL rules and the defensive back pushes him out, if it's NFL rules, he's allowed to push him out, right?
Correct. But he didn't go for the push. He went to try and catch the football, and you see a bobble. He tries to swipe it away, but the strong hands there by Derek Shear, and we have the Chiefs with the lead.
We do. And a heartbreaker here if the Fire offense is unable to come up and make a miracle play here at the end again. We've seen Willie Beeman, his ability to create, so I definitely have confidence that we can make a play and come back and win this game with the next possession.
And good thing we've been counting timeouts because they do have 2 left.
There we go, and boom. So great play. Way to step up, prevent the 2-point conversion.
There is some laundry on the field, though.
It is. But if this stands, you can win the football game with a field goal here.
Okay, so it was on the offense. Yeah. And
so all you need to do. So, again, this is Tom Brady in the Super Bowl right here. All we need is 3.
They haven't kicked a field goal. They haven't attempted an actual field goal tonight.
But the kicker's good.
Yeah, Chirac is a very reliable kicker. But you got to get him in position here to make a play.
But on offense, do they understand that? Does everyone on the offense understand that we're running and we only need is 3? We don't need a home run.
That's what Coach Drew's got to communicate to his guys. He's got to let them know, hey, we got to get in position to get at least 3. It's not all about the touchdown here. We can win it with a simple kick, but with 2 timeouts and possibly a long field to go, we'll see what they do here on the return. It doesn't look like it's going to be Aaron Davis back deep. Well, I take that back. I do see number 10 waltzing out on the field. It looks
you got it. Ultimate weapon, but they're not going to kick it to him. There's no way.
Well, he's playing up further now.
Okay, so anticipating that short kick, Mike Tatum out there, also conversing with the officials.
So maybe
Tatum back deep.
Yeah. So maybe they're going to pull the old Randy Moss sneaks on the field and
switcheroo.
Throw the ball to him.
The old switcheroo. Let's go, Fire.
I know what happened is Sports Kells is in the press box now.
All the good luck that she was given on the sideline.
That's why the Fire
the
no longer have the lead. Sports Kells is sitting in the press box. Yeah, you need to get down there on that field so we can get this win.
Tense moments here, yes.
She's
Tense
worried about her
moments
nerves.
here.
Oh, and it's in the direction of Aaron
And
Davis.
let it go out of
but-
bounds. So a heck of a decision there.
And I get that you don't want to kick it deep, but I don't know that that's the best option. As you see once again another squib kick, because that's what they've gone with all night. But I assume that you'd rather have that than number 10 getting the ball in his hands.
Oh, yes, definitely. They want to keep it away from him at all costs. Mr. Get him started.
So hopefully number 13 is Mr. Get him started here, as he has a chance to lead the Fire to a huge win.
48 seconds is a lot of
left and
time.
2 timeouts.
That's a lot of time.
And I'll tell you what, the Columbus Fire love the Maylock smasher.
Oh, yeah.
They love these situations. You saw them able to force overtime a couple weeks ago.
Definitely.
So hopefully we're able to see them get a win instead of I don't know how they could get 2 points, but I'm sure this league would find a way.
Receivers out here for the Fire. Mike Tatum. And Ali, near side, far side. Cam Jackson.
A lot of Iron Man football out here tonight, Terrell.
Oh, yeah. Big time matchup, and you see Sergio Freeman.
And Mike.
Looking left. He's getting out of pressure. And a huge play.
Mike Tatum, who
all over the middle of the field, in the field goal range. He's got one man to beat, and we're going to win this whole football game. That's what you do. You make big plays. Like I said, 48 seconds is an eternity.
Mike Tatum didn't even run a route, Terrell.
He didn't.
He took one step and stood there, and
Make
he
a play, baby.
scored a
Make a play.
65-yard touchdown pass.
That's how you make plays.
And you talk about him, he's running on one leg out there. Look at him. It's not even a screen. And
Give
you
me
see
that.
him zigzag across the field.
And this
with
last guy right here.
speed
Where you at,
to
son?
win.
Where you at?
With speed to win. Mike Tatum, we talked about Iron Man football. I don't know how he just made that play as he caught 2 cramps on the last drive alone. My gosh.
And as I was saying, that key matchup with Sergio Freeman was barbecue chicken on that play.
Can you call him barbecue chicken if he doesn't give up a big route? I don't know, but
He fell
I
asleep.
guess so. Yeah.
He fell asleep.
Well, that's and
You gotta
that's
stay woke.
and in that situation,
Mike Tatum.
and in that situation, Terrell, you wonder what you're supposed to do if you're running his own defense and a man doesn't run a route.
Hey, he fell asleep, and you see him. He got caught up in the play, and boom, outlet. Now still 33 seconds left. Right now, the Fire defense is once again on them to be able to.
Was that a June bug? Well, and if you're looking at it from Cincinnati's position, you're
Yes.
thinking, we just won this game.
Yes, and that's the thing, and that's where you got to take advantage. They're all excited on the sideline. They fell asleep. You got to stay woke, Brian. You got to stay woke.
and I'm really impressed with Mike Tatum on that because he makes the entire play.
He did.
He makes the whole
But
thing.
you know what? I tell you, no. Willie Beeman on that play kept the play alive.
He kept it alive. He
was
did.
dead 2 or 3 times.
He truly did. But Mike Tatum and Mike Tatum made a great catch because that ball's definitely out in front of him.
It was.
Because Michael Wilson's running for his life and he makes it catchable enough for him to run and zig and zag into the end zone.
And the 2-point conversion is good. Heck of a throw and catch for the 2-point conversion. Makes it 35-29 in favor of the Fire.
And that's the first time we've had a chance to call Mark Ratliff's name tonight.
That's
who's
right.
made a couple other big catches this year, too, at the end of games.
Yes. And defensively coming off the edge. And so right now, the crowd's into it. Everybody's fired up. But guess what? Still 33 seconds to go.
Yeah.
Still plays to be made on defense because guess what? They don't want to go home. Cincinnati wants to go to the playoffs.
Exactly. So, you know Antonio Davis is going to come out ready, and you know that offense is going to come out ready too. You got to keep your eyes open for Deshaun Edwards on this next drive. He's going to be going to his main man. I can guarantee you that, Terrell.
So, right now, maybe no timeouts for Cincinnati. And
Official stat.
You're the
Official stat, no timeouts.
That is correct.
I will have them signed off like the PGA Tour at the end of this game.
Do you stay in that cover 3 defense if you're the Or do you go in
You
more
don't.
of a
You
prevent
don't.
defense?
You don't run the prevent. You don't prevent yourself to win.
Okay.
You do what's gotten you to the promised land. You do what
Okay.
you're comfortable with. You don't put these guys in positions to not make plays. When you have a great defensive line like that with a great pass rush, you give them the opportunity to make the play and seal tonight.
Absolutely. So again, if you're those defensive ends, you can't. You got to keep contained, right?
Yeah, you got to keep contained. Now we know Antonio Davis is not the athlete that our guy Willie Beeman is, but he's still good enough to make a play and scramble around, buy time, and get his wide receivers open.
So it's time to get locked in. 30 seconds to go. Deep kick. Fielded by the up man,
And
but
that's
fumbled.
and
He
that's
goes down. He gets up. Makes a couple moves. Still on his feet.
And the clock never
It doesn't
ran.
seem as though the clock even started for some reason. There's nothing you can do about it now. There's nothing you can do about it now.
So, unfortunately, the clock never ran, so we're still at 33.7 seconds
I
left.
think the clock operator is working for Cincinnati. They got to run some type of time off of it. There we go, 5-second runoff. All right, because the play definitely did take time.
Well, and that play was much longer than 5 seconds. So you know how it works in football. Every second matters.
It does, absolutely.
You can score a touchdown with 0 seconds left on the clock
Yes,
in
you
this
can.
game. So every second definitely matters. And you give Cincinnati a reprieve because that's a terrible idea to field that ball. I mean, I know you don't know where it's going to bounce, but
You
that's
gotta
so
at least
near the
let it go.
sideline.
Try to let it go out of bounds if it can. Yeah, you're right.
And then I get if you have to dive, and now miscommunication as the Columbus Fire are more worried about the game clock than they are about playing the darn football game.
And it's the thing. It's like, where's your focus?
And this is that
Worry about the
situation
things that you can control.
Exactly. This is that situation where we talked about it all night. Your discipline. Are you in the football game or are you in everything else? So they've got to go make a play right now because, and we talked about number 85 and the rest of their offense, Cincinnati's not going to lay down here.
How do you get to the quarterback? How do you get to A.D. Davis on these plays? Because you can't allow him, the way this team is playing, you can't allow him to have enough time to find a receiver.
I get it. You can't fully pin your ears back. You have to make a disciplined rush and get up the middle. You cannot get too far up the field and allow him to step up and make a throw, which we've seen he's got plenty of arm tonight to make a deep play. I know they don't have any timeouts, but he's got plenty of arm to get it to this sideline from any position on the field.
But again, though, it does seem as though the times he has hurt us is when he's been able to get outside the pocket.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want to stop, as I said. So you got to make sure that these two guys in the middle with Mike Cross.
So we see two safeties deep, a different
So,
look.
yeah, I'm looking for Mike Cross to make a play here.
Some cover two, a throw underneath here on first down. Still on his feet. And he's running hard. I mean, he's their big guy.
Wow.
He's got 3 receptions.
And the
Paul
Fire.
Jones.
Oh, man.
17 seconds to go. Again, it's all about tackling right here and being able to be in position. Heck of a play.
And the Columbus sideline is more worried about the clock than they are the game again.
So
the clock should be
there's a game
stopped.
going on right now.
So there should
Getting everything figured out. 12.4 seconds to go. There's a lot of worrying about the clock, but they should be worrying about tackling people on the field.
Yeah, absolutely.
Several missed tackles on that play.
That's their job. Their job is to make plays. There should be at least 21 seconds left on the clock, to my count. But yeah, the Columbus Fire need to stop worrying about what's going on in the press box, and they need to worry about more on the field because they just gave up a huge play on first down, and now Cincinnati's in their territory.
And that's the thing. If they're worried about what's going on up here, that means they're out of gas and they're just trying to go home.
And they
The
can't.
game's not over yet. You got to keep playing, guys.
And if they lose this game, they don't have anyone to blame but themselves. They can't
Absolutely.
blame the clock operator. They have to blame themselves because they are the ones playing it out. They're the ones giving up the plays.
So soft coverage on the corners. Even though it's a guaranteed passing situation here. Davis dropping back in the shotgun.
And you see a
Looks
lot of
right,
cushion out there.
and then comes back left to the sideline. Able to make the catch.
And that's I think that's bad coaching,
Is
Terrell.
Deontay Riley incredibly soft coverage?
I think that's terrible coaching, Terrell. You have a defensive corner dropping before the ball is even snapped, and he's 20 yards away from the wide receiver. All he's got to do is stop, and now the ball's in the 30-yard line, and they're in prime position to throw the ball into the end zone.
Yes, they are. And
They
have been very successful.
That is a terrible job. And you can see it. They are more worried about what's going on up here than what they are on the field, not focused.
We'll see if they have enough to hold on and pull out the win here. Huff Acres Community Sports Complex here in Grove City, Ohio. Crowds into the game, 10 seconds left. Davis drops back, looking for the end zone, has a defender, and it's offensive pass interference. That's going to cause a loss of down and a 10-second runoff. This game is over, Brian.
And what a ridiculous way for this game to end. So I'll wait for the call before I call it.
It should be offensive pass interference and a 10-second runoff. The game is over.
So I see him.
That's what the call should be.
I see him spinning his finger. So, and it is an official call of offensive pass interference. So
10-second runoff. Game over.
Well, and we talked about earlier, this league picks and chooses what
Which
NFL
rules
rules
that
they
they
want to
wanna
follow.
enforce.
We don't have the rule book in front of us, so it's hard to tell. I don't see anybody leaving the field, Terrell. I don't see anybody shaking hands.
Of course they're not. It's a
No.
10-second runoff. The game is over.
So Coach Didi's telling them to get in position for a snap. So obviously they know the
game is
rules.
not over.
So we have 4.7 seconds
Yes,
left,
we
and
do.
it's going to be the last play of the game.
Prevent defense for the Fire. Shotgun snap. Davis drops back a whistle. Whistles before the snap. Because of course there are whistles before the snap. Why wouldn't there be?
Well, it looks the Fire took their final timeout.
Because of course they did.
Well, they needed to communicate. Coach Didi's out there on the field with some of the defensive coaches, letting the secondary know exactly what their job's going to be, what position they need to be in on the field to go ahead and seal this victory. After there's been so many miscommunications, you can't take any chances. Somehow we're down to 3.7 seconds. I'm not exactly sure
how that happened. Nonetheless,
I don't at this point. I don't know that it truly matters.
it doesn't.
Now there's point. So we're getting there, but. Just okay. So
Yeah, so we're in a timeout.
we're in a timeout for the Fire, which I think is a good call. I think it's
You're
a
right.
great
You're
call
right.
to-
You're right. I'm
to-
being crazy.
Yeah, Terrell, crazy? No.
You're so kind.
But yeah, you got to make sure you get your guys in the right position as a coach, as they have failed them a little bit earlier tonight. But this time they're taking no chances, making sure that they know what they're supposed to do out there.
All right, well, don't let this timeout go to waste. Fire.
Well, this is
Crowd's getting
one of
restless.
the longer timeouts that I've seen in football without a commercial break.
There have been, varying lengths of timeouts. That is definitely true.
We know that these zebras are not the safari kind; they're more of the zoo kind.
They're more of the zoo, yes. Definitely the zoo kind. And so, theoretically, we have one more play to run here in this game.
Allegedly, we have one more play, but only God knows what's going to happen, Terrell.
Only
As we should have 4.7 seconds, but we have 4 flat. So
God and Woody Hayes are the only two people who know.
I don't know that Woody
Davis
knows. But
takes the snap, steps up, and is sacked, and the game is over.
playoffs, here we come. The Fire defense able to hold on and get a big W here after dropping the first minute and 51 seconds of the season. But they're able to hold on, and big number 13 is able to lead the team to a victory. Him and Maurice Dowse carried the load Obviously,
But player of the game,
Mike Tatum.
He's the guy.
He's definitely my player of the game. One interception on defense, correct?
Yes.
One touchdown on offense after not even running a route.
That is correct. It wasn't even like a bubble screen. He's just a scramble drill. Hey, I'm
He's
open.
got speed to burn.
And turn on the Jets with several guys to beat.
He could have donated a little bit of speed to somebody else and still gotten there.
Shows his breakaway speed.
So, very happy with what the Fire were able to accomplish tonight. As, once again, they have their ups and their downs.
They do.
But able to come together as a full unit, get a big victory, a lot of smiles, a lot of handshakes.
And we do have a couple post-game interviews on the sideline.
We
Maybe
do.
We
it
can
looks
get,
like
Mike Tatum. We have our crack staff down on the field. Pittsburgh Rob ready to bring you the heat. So we'll see if we can go ahead and secure those.
We also have the Sports Don Marchand down there as well.
Sports Don Marchand.
Very excited to see who they talk to.
Who almost got fired again as the scoreboard operator.
Scoreboard operator is not his best job.
It's not. He's a broadcaster.
He's the Sports Don. He DJ'd a little bit. Without him, there's no music tonight.
Exactly.
So
and it's only entertainment.
He came up nearly as big as Mike Tatum did in the pregame anyway.
So who do we got here? Ali? Yeah.
That's your guy.
Khalid Ali. And again, he set the table tonight.
My gosh, I can't wait to rewatch this game and see that catch.
That was a heck of a catch. That was a heck of a catch.
My goodness. And I know I was hard on Mike Wilson all night.
You were.
I was very hard on him.
You were ready to pull him.
I had pulled him. But I'll tell you what, the guy made a crap ton of plays. He put his body on the line, taking hits, running around, keeping plays alive, and she showed off a great arm multiple times. But you talk about heading into the playoffs, you can't have those breakdowns in your consistency of your mechanics at quarterback.
You can't.
But tonight it was enough.
It was.
Tonight it was enough, and that's all that matters right now. And when those games in the playoffs come, they'll think about those. But tonight's going to be a good celebration. The Fire last home game of the year.
It's been a heck of a season, Ryan.
It's once again a lot of.
But right now we're going to go ahead and throw it on down to Pittsburgh Rob with Ali.
ScoreOnAir.com, game of the week, Columbus Fire versus the Cincinnati Chiefs. I got Khalid Ali with me with the crazy back-to-back play catch in the end zone. What was your thoughts on that play, man?
It was a great ball, It was a busted play, but it was a great ball, man. I had to get it. They cheated us on the first play before that on the touchdown I had, but shit, I had to go back and get it.
Cool. Hey, again, great game.
Appreciate it.
No problem. All right, back to you guys up top.
To be it from here, from Huffacre Sports Community Complex. Once again, the Fire were able to come and pull it out in the waning seconds here in the last home game, going into the playoffs, and pull out the win, 35-29. Join us next season because we're going to do some more Fire football. We're going to do some high school football, so all kind of stuff going on ScoreOnAir.com. Stay tuned because the best is yet to come. We're out of here.
The future of broadcasting is evolving, and you can be on the front line. Digital and traditional media jobs are being created daily, and the Columbus campus of the Ohio Media School can help you find your next career. With financial aid and job placement assistance available, the Columbus campus of the Ohio Media School provides instruction from industry-experienced veterans like me, ready to share their knowledge of the media broadcasting industry. Contact us today at 614-655-5250 or apply online at beonair.com. The Ohio Media School. Media broadcasting training starts here.
Smoke. ScoreNerd.com, game of the week, Columbus Fire versus the Cincinnati Chiefs. I got Mike Tatum with the game-winning touchdown. First of all, what are your thoughts on that first interception you got?
I mean, we had to make a play, you know what I mean? And anytime I play, I mean, it's always, why not me? So, I mean, it's not just me as an individual, but why not go make the play for my team?
Yeah, most definitely. And that crazy broken down play, touchdown. Your thoughts throughout that whole process?
I am the weapon. No, but no, I mean, I haven't called the ball all night really on offense, so you know what I mean? When I seen the quarterback rolling, you know what I mean? My instinct just told me just run slant. You know what I mean? When I ran slant, he threw it, and actually I almost dropped it. When you go back and look at it on film, I bobbled it, then it almost came out, and I pulled it back with one hand and then just took off.
Cool. Other than that, great game. Good luck on the playoffs.
Thanks, man.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Back to you guys up top.
Man, I'm cramping.